We're live.
Wednesday. We're live. Hey, hello. Look out. Keep dreaming. Anyway, and by the way, well, I'll talk, first, Hope, how you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Welcome aboard the old Kimmer Show podcast with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And we're at the Mechanical Mangler's house, Flounder, at El Condo Floundo. And he's got a new kitty cat, and he's living in the closet because he's afraid to come out. And
Yeah, it's a baby cat, and he's probably a couple months old, but had all its shots and everything. The lady I'm friends with kind of did the whole starter thing.
Yeah.
Like they had a litter at her house, and I think there were 5 of them, and I'm taking number 4.
yeah.
So
Now, do you have like a bed or a blanket with an
Yep,
alarm
I
clock
got-
ticking or anything? Do you know about that deal? Have like a clock in there that you can
I have
hear?
I have a white noise, so there's a little calming noise.
Yeah. And then at some point, anybody who's ever had a cat for the first time knows they're going to hide, they're going to disappear.
Right.
So make sure there's food and water out. They will come out, but at some point, he's got
Well, everything's
play with them.
yeah. I mean, I do too. Everything's in the closet, but again, he doesn't know where he is. He got taken away from his mother, so he's kind of just a little nervous at the
Well,
moment.
anyway, I'm sure this will be fine at some point. Well, good.
At some point, he'll be in here hanging with us. I
Now,
promise.
do you have litter basket things?
Yep,
and all
got
that
I got
stuff?
all that stuff. Yeah.
Now, did you get one of the fancy schmancy ones that circles itself and gets rid of its own
I'm not.
waste?
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
thing?
I got a nice little scooper
Scoop
and
and
stuff
thing,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
So
whatever.
I don't need all
Anyway,
that
well,
stuff.
that's good. Well, congratulations. Any name for this? A male or female?
It's a male, so I'm not sure yet. It's got some really unique stripes. Like it's
Tiger cat
yeah,
type?
like super unique. Yeah.
Was
so-
that actually his picture you sent
Yeah,
to us? Oh, that
uh-huh.
so he's a tiger. He's a tiger stripe, orange.
Yeah.
Cat-
Well, no,
tabby cat.
he's gray, but he's got the.
Oh, it is gray. I looked. Okay.
It's a
I
black
guess
and
so.
white picture, but he's
That
kinda-
cat had nothing but assassination on its mind.
It's a killer cat.
That's a killer
Call him
cat.
Killer.
I saw the look on his face. It was
Jerry Lewis. Call him Killer.
Shere Khan.
Anyway, speaking of killers, our president was at the United Nations today. We'll talk about that also. And he went from the first thing obviously was blasting Putin on him. Ukraine deserves a free state of the so and so. The second thing out of his mouth was how he's now trying to save the world because of the energy crisis. The whole second thing, and I'm going, oh my God, what do you do? Anyway, we'll talk about that. Also, threats of nuclear war. Putin said, I'm not bluffing. I might drop a couple of nukes. I mean,
Kill him.
well, he
Why
should
haven't
be
we
killed.
killed him by
He
now?
should be assassinated. America, I'm sure we have assassination teams in the State Department. They're not in the CIA or the DIA. They're in the State Department. Are the kill teams? I'm telling you. And I know we have kill teams, and they must be working with the people in Russia. And by the way, they're fleeing their country. If the people trying to get out on planes out of the country are backed up forever. I can't believe we haven't taken them out. I mean, well, anyway, I guess I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't imagine. Can you imagine the balls in this guy threatening to drop a couple of nukes and anybody said anything about it other than, well, that would be bad. God. I'm dying.
He knows the wind blows eastward, right?
Yeah, right.
So if he drops some, it's just gonna.
be really bad for his friends there. Would be not be
What?
that
What'd
good.
you do now?
Anyway, well. We're saying, well, it's okay. Everything's good. How you doing? Something just happened. My ears just changed. I don't know
No,
what.
they look the same.
Are we okay? Yes. Okay, we're back, and we're back on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, good. Anyway, we had a little microphone issue on my mic, and so Flounder reset everything, and I guess we're broadcasting fine. And also, for some reason, my ear levels just changed. I have no idea what that means. These are temporary ear rockets I got on. I still haven't heard back. Oh, but this is twice now. I was supposed to go in and get them the other day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They called me at 11 o'clock in the morning and said, oh, they're not ready yet. And this is the second time. Now, it's not the local people. It's the company that makes these multi-$1,000 things. And my question is, how is it possible that they don't know to notify me until the day I'm supposed to get them that they're not ready? I don't know. I mean, isn't that a little, I mean, don't you have any kind of quality control that you wouldn't know a week in advance they're not ready to ship? I mean, what, are they going to drive in my house at the last minute? I mean, God, anyway.
It's interesting you brought up your ears because Brandon has just sent something that you might be interested in.
What?
Pete, I'm listening to the most recent episode of the Kimmer Show podcast, and I can confirm that, yes, Saturday night will, in fact, be hell for the Kimmer. I went to the Slipknot concert last year at the Kim Peterson Amphitheater.
No.
It may have been the loudest concert I have ever been to. And I sat in the VIP area in the back up on the hill.
Oh, God.
Once we left, we turned a corner, and there was a car that had lost control and ended up on the front lawn of someone's townhouse.
Yeah, that's me.
I thought to myself, that has to be the Kimmer's place.
Guarantee you. And they're rude, and you can't get anywhere, and they block it. I don't know. It's just
Halloween
God.
comes early, baby.
Oh, jeez. Well, then I'll tell you, it literally will affect my plans. I was probably going to go to the stable late in the day to get the horses turned out. I'm not going to leave my house after like 4 o'clock. I'll be done with my day at 4 o'clock, and I'll be trapped by 4 in the afternoon.
And after dark, those people will be milling about, too.
Unbelievable. Anyway, well, Herp Poe, how you doing? It's only me, it's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And I see, what's going on with my ear? This thing is coming out of there. That's what it is. What the hell?
Earworm.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm just, whatever. And of course, now I can hear. It just clicked in again for some reason. Thank you. Nice try. With the mechanical mangler Flounder at the controls. Good job, Flounder, fixing up what was wrong. Of course, I couldn't do it, but he figured it out. And so we're starting right from scratch, right? Yep. As we speak today. Speaking of scratch, Flounder's got a cat. He's got a kitty. He's got a little kitty, like 6-8 week old.
Sure, he
cat.
does.
And he's he won't come out of the closet. He's a scared kitty. He just left his litter. And it's we saw a picture of him. It's a beautiful kind of gray tiger stripe type kitty, male. He's been fixed, has all his shots, but he's obviously scared, and he's in the closet. And you have a little noise thing in there.
There's a white noise thing there, and then I got 2 little cat fort houses, one in the closet, and then one out in my room with comfortable blankets. So he should be comfortable. He's just scared.
That he can curl up in or something.
Exactly.
Until and then just let him. Anybody who's ever I've had cats and dogs and canaries and snakes and my whole freaking life. And cats will disappear. The new cats, you may not see them for 2 days, but so just make sure food's out somewhere because they'll eat it. Anyway.
And funny, a dog, for the most part, be like, hey, how you doing? What's this?
Cat's the complete opposite.
Leave me alone. Anyway, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I think that's great. And we can't wait to play with him when he gets used to the surroundings. So that'll be fun. We'll have I'll get podcast kitty. And
podcast cat.
We need a name.
Killer.
Killer, what we thought, because he looks, he's a cat, therefore he will eat your veins while you sleep.
He's kind of like the color pepper.
Pepper would be a little too much of a
female.
Emily Dickinson. You know what I mean?
Pepper Rogers.
That, or I was thinking about giving him like the most human name possible, like Gary. Or Steve.
Frank.
Yeah, Jerry, Bob, whatever. Oh, now my ears just went again. Isn't that amazing? Something's happening now. I can't. They're not working. I'm gonna hit you. Oh God, here we go. Anyway, sorry, folks. I'm just, this is what I am. Hit me in the face. I deserve it. President Kill the Babies at the Border was addressing the United Nations today, and of course he started off ripping Russia for invading Ukraine, and then he immediately went into why he wants to save the planet with the Green New Deal and how we have a climate crisis, and he went on and on about the green climate crisis before he mentioned anything else. And it's just, a total freaking embarrassment. Talking about the green energy deal at the United Nations with what's going on. Anyway, and then he complained about women's reproductive rights or non-reproductive rights. Anyway, let's see. A couple of things. We will talk about the threat of nuclear war. Putin is now, the balls in this guy actually saying, I'm not bluffing. I may just drop some nukes. To end the war in Ukraine, and apparently
he signs his death warrant the second he
you
does
would think
that.
he has to die. They've got to kill him. It must be that the only reason is that he doesn't control the successors, and there must be some kind of even a worse coup ready to take over or something.
Russia has a history of keeping the idiot in there like Stalin long past his expiration date.
Well, the question is does his own party kill him?
Well,
He just called up 300,000 troops.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
In the dead of winter?
People are fleeing Russia. The planes, the airlines are booked with people trying to get out of the country. So clearly, the population cannot be, from the day one, cannot be in favor of this business in Ukraine.
But they all say they are.
Yeah.
The BBC had some reporter there, brave guy, and he's talking to people in the street and go, no, I support Putin 100%. They have to say that.
Yeah, and apparently the Al Jazeera Constitution is now reporting that 3 or 4 provinces in Ukraine are all supporting Russia and want to be part of Russia. And that's his excuse now to drop some nukes to make sure that they're protected. I mean, it's unbelievable. But again, he's talking nuclear war.
That's the same excuse Hitler used to annex Austria and the Sudetenland.
Yeah.
Well, there's German-speaking people there. They're being oppressed.
Yeah.
No one's buying this shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's really hard to believe. And we'll talk a little thing about history with that coming up a little bit later on. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Also, I got a lot of things to talk about the Martha's Vineyard business. Some great memes coming out too. And now even a Texas sheriff who should have his badge and his gun taken away forever is working as an agent of the Democrat Liberal Party to try to enforce liberals' political demands on the border. A Texas sheriff. I can't believe it. We'll talk all about that stuff too. Also, the Dems are not going to allow you to investigate Hunter Biden. We'll hear Don Lemon getting a comeuppance by a British woman who just, schooled him, and he looked like, somebody farted in church. We'll talk about that stuff. A bunch of sports things with Pete. Also, just very quickly, our condolences to friends and family of Maury Wills, National League MVP in 1962, legendary shortstop for the Brooklyn Dodgers and LA Dodgers. But I remember before him, Junior Gilliam and Pee Wee Reese and Gil Hodges and Roy Campanella.
Gil Hodges' wife just died.
And, of course, Jackie Robinson. And Gil Hodges' wife just passed away. My ears just died again. What the? This one died. Something's going on here with these stupid things. Oh, man, this is unfreaking believable. Sorry, sometimes I can hear and sometimes I can't, folks. I apologize. And anyway, so Maury Wills passed away. He was 89 years old. Anyway, I want to also talk about Aaron Judge coming up and Pete Holycrap at Sports later on today, I'm guessing. Oh, you already did it? Well, it's the best podcast, Sportscast America. What was your kind of couple of key things to tease the people to go see?
Spencer Strider's going to take a day off, and that's good. They're going to push him back. Braves clinched a postseason berth. Unfortunately, the Brewers blew a 4-0 lead last night to the Mets, assholes.
Yeah.
So we're still 1 game back in that. But there's all kinds of rumors about Deion Sanders going to either Georgia Tech or Auburn.
As a coach? Head coach?
Yeah.
Head coach?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to let me.
Auburn would be a smarter move, frankly, but
He'd be in the SEC.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Well, just because he's Atlanta,
Yeah,
he loves
Atlanta.
Atlanta, but that's a hard place to recruit. When he can go to Auburn and he can immediately out-recruit Saban in 1 year.
Well, if they can pay him just the money, being able to pay athletes at Auburn, it's got to be. I can't imagine Georgia Tech can compete with Auburn for money for athletes to play football.
Well,
My
they
God.
have the money, but they don't. They
Well, they won't do that.
They won't spend it.
Yeah. And now let me ask you this. I have to say this. When Deion, I didn't like Deion Sanders in the beginning. I thought he was way too showy. Remember it was Neon Deion. I mean, it was just I didn't like him. I thought he was. Didn't he complain that if he didn't get the number 1, he wasn't going to play or some shit? I mean, he just everything about him was just wrong. The guy can run. I mean, he could freaking fly. I always thought he was kind of a chicken. You know, he would do kind of a glancing tackle to try to push him out of bounds. He wasn't a
didn't
tough
tackle.
guy.
No.
He couldn't tackle, but he was he was great at what he did because he was like a spider that you get in your face, you know, and it was hard to defend against him. It was just like, you know, it would just be everywhere, you know, and just all over the place, and that's what a great defensive back does. So I appreciate that. I never thought he was a Hall of Famer, but he
Yeah,
could
he's
run
Hall
back
of Famer.
kicks. You know, and so anyway, so clearly he was obviously a special athlete, but I never really liked him until all of a sudden I keep reading things. I've read several articles about him and his players now at where is he? Southeastern
Jackson
something?
State.
Jackson State. He makes him wear a coat and tie. He makes them say yes or no, sir. I mean, he makes them be totally respectable. He doesn't take any crap. He says, you know, the way you conduct yourself as a man is as important as being on the team. I mean, holy moly! I mean, he sounds like John Wooten, for God's sakes. don't
Sounds
you?
like who was the Grambling coach all those years?
Oh yeah,
Eddie
Robinson.
Eddie Robinson. Yeah, that's who he
He
sounds
did.
like.
He does, I've completely changed my mind. And I assume he knows a lot about football. So whether he's a good coach or not, I don't know. But he sure is setting some great standards.
But as a head coach, all you got to do is hire 2 good coordinators and
Yeah.
recruit.
Right.
And
then
you've
let
got
him
it
have
made.
Yeah, let
and
him
at
go.
Auburn, you can do those things.
Yeah, I think that'd be
And it'd be entertaining as hell to
that
watch.
would be unbelievable.
I'm not a big Auburn fan, but it'd be fun to watch that go up against Saban in Alabama.
Well, if anybody who likes, you know, this part of the country in football, you know, but again, I've totally changed my mind about Deion Sanders. I think he sounds like a great leader, and I salute him, and I admit that I'm completely 180.
Did he ever get
degrees.
his foot straight, like his foot healed?
Probably.
Because he was,
You know,
he had some,
yeah.
was it turf toe, or he had some issues with his foot for
Well,
like
I
a
think
year?
probably, you know, the arthritis that you'd get as an athlete from all the, you know, pounding and running. I don't know, but whether he's over it or not, I don't know. Let me. Yeah. Anyway, I wish him well, and that'd be a hell of a story if he goes to Auburn. Wow, cool. Also, well, speaking of sports, we'll mention this now while I'm at it. Aaron Judge hit number 60, I guess 59 and 60. Am I whistling?
No.
Is my okay? And I wrote this
far as
down
you know, you're not.
for a reason. And he says, I'm a part of the Sports Illustrated I'm reading. I'll bring it into you. I'm almost done with it. He mentions that he says the record is the Barry Bonds record. He said
That ain't the record.
I know, but that's what Judge said. Judge says, he said, you know, if I break Roger Maris's record, and you know, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, so that whole thing. He said that'd be great, but he said, as far as I'm concerned, the major league record for home runs is Barry Bonds.
Well, that's bullshit.
Which is bullshit. But again, you know, but he's taken the leave me alone high road out of it, saying I don't, you know, he doesn't want to condemn another baseball player.
Of course,
whatever,
they all
whatever.
stick up
They
for
all-
each other.
Yeah.
Me, I throw him under the bus immediately.
Yeah, I would say, you know, man's a cheat. Man, you know,
cheated.
the problem is he's gotten away with it because he hasn't been convicted of anything other than lying, but he never got caught with the steroid issue. He got caught lying about it, but which is to me, you know,
Him, McGuire, Sosa, they're all the same.
yeah, they're all.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They're
that's
all the
right.
same.
I totally agree. And one more quick sports thing. It was. I don't have much information about it, but a Middletown, I think it is Pennsylvania. 10 football players on the high school team have been either suspended or arrested for sexual hazing of some of the younger members of the football team, including making them spread eagle naked and pounding various things. I mean, do they still? Is that
so.
a thing?
And you would think it'd been long, or to get to the point where the players would go, knock that off.
No, come on, you got to
Yeah.
be kidding me.
A little bit's okay, but it's way beyond the
yeah,
pale.
I mean, making them, you know, carry your bags, or you know,
Yeah.
making them do stuff or do push-ups till they scream, or I mean, you know, but you don't abuse guys on your own team.
I think it's a sexual sadism that some of these guys have.
It's sexual. It was sexual.
We all
abuse.
knew guys. Well, in the high school, in the college, you knew guys like that. That kind of got off on stuff like that. Come on, lingered around the locker room a little too long.
Honestly, I never. Well, I'm a baby boomer, so this just wasn't the way it was. I don't ever remember anything like this.
Oh, there was a lot of hazing going on at baby boomer time.
Well, you know, fraternity hazing, making you throw up and stuff like
Strapping you to a mattress, a metal mattress, and electrocuting you.
that. Well, that'd be a little
that
bad.
was a little far.
It's a little iffy.
Thank you, sir. May I have
Sure.
another?
We all saw Animal House. Anyway, excuse me. I beg your pardon. Okay, and we have actual. Oh, my ears just went again. I don't know what's going on.
Kimmer's Ear Problems brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net. If you have a new cat that needs a closet to hang out in, Atlanta Custom Closets, just call 404-255-0589. That's 404-255-0589. Atlanta Custom Closets for all your cat closet needs.
I hate my life. Sorry. Oh, all right. And there they go again. Son of a gun. All right. Anyway, a couple things. And again, we have actual issues and topics here to talk about. Speaking of that, can I do like a couple of personal things? We'll talk a lot of new stuff.
What are those?
Okay. Now.
Got my attention.
Oh, I hate that I can't hear you dirty, stinking scumbags.
You know,
I
Ronco
just hate this.
at CVS.
Both of them.
Take them out.
Both of them are. I mean, I don't get it. They're not.
Take them out.
Well, they clicked every once in a while. All right. Anyway, this was a extemporaneous. What do you call it? Extemporaneous last minute. Oh, they just went in again. Buy at the store. They are ho-hos. I was looking for something, and I saw, and I haven't bought stuff like this in a very long time. I used to eat stuff when I was a kid, but I haven't. I said, what the hell? See what's going on. So I bought them, and they're ho-hos, the box of ho-hos, and they're all individually wrapped, as you can see. A couple of things. First of all, I ate one. I might have eaten one or two. And
Four.
They're not like I remember.
Well, see, this. You know how weird this is? I always buy Swiss rolls.
Yeah,
You know,
I saw
Little
those
Debbie.
too.
And then yesterday, for the first time in years, I saw ho-hos. And I thought, gosh, they're just like Swiss rolls, and I'd forgotten about ho-hos.
They're slightly different, and they have chocolate on one part and vanilla on
How
another.
weird that we noticed that the same week.
Yeah, but again, so I bought them and I ate one last night, and the fact of the matter is, one, it looks a lot smaller than it used to be. Now that may not, I don't know because
I wouldn't eat those.
I don't
They're
know.
horrible.
And the second thing was they're so light and airy. It's like spongy air cake.
Really? You're going to finger all of them
And
before I eat
no,
one?
no, they're in the packages. I'm not anyway.
Give me one
So
of those.
there you are. You can have them, enjoy them,
give me one
and I
of
have no
these.
interest in them. And the other thing is, if I do a spontaneous purchase like this of something, if I got a hankering for something sweet, a candy bar or whatever, I always make sure that it's worth the calories.
It's not. They're not as good as Swiss rolls.
No, I don't think they
they're
are
just
either.
not.
And they're okay, but
They're
just
salty.
they're very soft and light and airy, and there's just
salty.
nothing to them.
They're like half as good as a Swiss roll.
Anyway, Flounder, I got a box of Swiss of ho-hos or a Pete or whatever. Anyway, they're here. And by the way, just for the record, now I was going to take some video and I forgot, but while I'm speaking of the food thing, I mentioned some time ago, and I'm telling you this is true. Again, I had the hankering not long ago for Milky Way candy bar. Okay, and if you are looking for a Milky Way candy bar, you can buy it one of two ways. You can either buy the little teeny ones, either called the minis or the fun size, which are the little kind of 1-2 bite things of candy bars that come in the bag, like 50 of them in a bag. Or they only sell Milky Ways now in the double bars. You can buy those at the checkout counter at the store. They don't have, in the candy aisle, they don't have anything but the little teeny Milky Ways. You can't buy full-size Milky. You can buy full-size Snickers, you can buy full-size Hershey bars, you can buy full-size everything else, but not Milky Ways. They do not, they have, and it's been months. And you can either get them at the checkout, which are double bars. I don't want to have 2 candy bars as a snack. I want to have a nice old-fashioned Milky Way snack, and they're gone. I don't know why. They must have done some kind of market research that said nobody's buying them. So they sell them either 2 at a time or 50 in a little crap size. And the little ones are not as good. I'm sorry. The little teeny ones that they make and put in little bars are not as good as the full-size bars. The quality is not as good.
It's pretty high up on their list there of topics.
I'm sorry.
Right after nuclear war.
I mentioned nuclear war. By the way, of course, nobody's asking President kill the babies at the border anything, but you'd think they would say, well, gee, Mr. President, you mentioned before that if Russia does something like uses weapons, you'll do this, we'll react in kind. How come that? I mean, here we go. If he really means it, again, they have to walk back everything he says. It's just totally embarrassing. All right, well, anyway, we got newsy stuff.
Wars have been caused on stupider things than
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
The Guns of August.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, well, World War I. I mean, you could pick a whole bunch of them.
Guns of August.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Well, they had that whole Prince thing or whatever, the Duke or what.
Just a spat between royal inbreds is what it was. Seriously.
And the other day, I got a message. Actually, we all did from our friend Nathan the Fuzz. Used to be Nathan the Fuzz, and it was Nathan the Cop, and then Nathan the Fuzz. And you may remember that I have a sketch which was drawn by a guy named Brian Shepard, who goes by the moniker Silverbacks, B-A-X, silverbacks.com. He's a cartoonist and an artist and so forth. He's an ex-military man, ex-cop, but he's a cartoonist, a very clever guy, a very creative guy, and he sketched a picture, an ink sketch, a pencil-type sketch of Stretchy the horse up at the stable that is very famous doing stuff. And it was beautiful, and you saw it. Well, look what he's done now. And Nathan the Fuzz sent me this.
What's that crazy bastard done?
It's a cover of a comic book called Jack the Good Boy.
Oh.
Is that unbelievable?
You look like Rush Limbaugh there, by the way. You look a little like
I do
Rush.
look like Rush Limbaugh, a thinner version. But now, I don't know if you can see that. But again, it's a color rendering.
You look like Paul Newman from here.
I'm sorry.
Paul Newman. You know how he did the dress?
Yeah,
Looks like one of the dressing.
and it's Jack the Good Boy comic book from SBX Comics, Silverbacks Special. But is that unbelievable? I mean, it's just
wonderful.
And I can't thank him enough. And I guess his website is Silverbacks, silverbax.com. And again, thank you so much, Brian Shepard. And I can't believe it. It's just what a nice thing, Anyway, thank you.
Mark says if you mention your ears one more time, I'm to hit the bell and then hit you with the bell.
I'm sorry. It's just because it happens abruptly that all of a sudden I can't hear, and it's very aggravating. All right, I'm done. Okay. All right. And now I feel great and frank. Oh, there they go. All right, here we go. Every time I touch my phone, has that got something to do with it?
It might have an electrical thing with your body that's doing it.
Anyway, I should make an announcement that I may be getting a new job. How does this sound? Oh, you know what?
Cindy says Rex the Wonder Cat.
Rex the Wonder Cat.
Rex is a good name.
I got to get my goggles on here. I got to get back to the eye doctor.
Maybe Newman.
What's that?
Newman.
Newman?
I'm thinking of just funny
Newman.
Yeah, that's a great name. That's a great name. Newman.
He'll get fat.
Newman. I'm going to be getting a new. I've been offered a new job, a part-time job, and it's going to pay me $400 a week. All I have to do is drive around with their company's 3M decal on my car.
Yeah.
It's easy to remove without hurting your vehicle paint. This will make your vehicle owner's side income while driving your normal daily route, which is a marketing tool. No mileage is required. Kindly provide the following information. Your name, address, street, zip code, city, car, truck, SUV, model, color, occupation, phone number. Cadbury is offering me $400 a week.
Last week, Coca-Cola offered me $700 a week.
Oh, my God.
$700.
By the way, is that real?
Now, some places do it. Some places.
I've seen these things before.
Coca-Cola would probably pay me to put it on my car and your car.
I guarantee they'd pay me to put it on my car.
But you know what? Then you're looking, oh, God, I got to drive
like an idiot.
I'm literally
hey, look at that guy.
I'm literally a marketing tool. I'm the tool. But how desperate would you have to be to?
Yeah.
Now, if I was still driving a Nissan Sentra in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
And $700 a month.
I don't think. Yeah, that's a lot.
You can live off that.
That's serious money. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could
that's
make
$2,800 a month.
Yeah, a week, $700 a week.
What's $2,800 a month?
Yeah, that's.
You can live off that.
Yeah,
that's rent. That's
35
groceries,
grand a year. Yeah, that's
probably gas for
yeah.
me, not you.
Yeah, absolutely. What? Yeah. What's the matter? Everything all right?
Earthquake over there. It's just.
Oh, what did you throw? You okay?
Yep.
Okay, doke. Anyway, so the Cadbury people. God, I'm so sorry about this.
That's a great company. Great chocolate.
And still, now they don't make Milky Way, I'm guessing.
They have. I'm telling you, all the tube stations in London, everyone's got the Cadbury machines.
Yeah.
And they're the best damn
Oh,
chocolate.
it's great chocolate.
They have a version of Milky Way that just blows it
Well,
off.
they have one that I bought before at the store in the candy aisle, and it's got like caramel in it, and it comes in little squares or something. It's delicious.
make the best chocolate,
Yeah, absolutely delicious. Can I do one more little personal thing? It's, speaking of a change. I do like the fact that I get my medicines, I have prescription medicines. I take, blood pressure and stuff like that every day. And I get it at Walgreens, not far from my place. And they call me when a prescription's ready to be picked up. And if it needs to be refilled, they'll call the doctor and get it officially refilled and then call me that it's ready to pick up. It's a great service. I've always enjoyed it. They stopped doing it for about a year for some reason, but it's back again. Okay, so I got the notice I got to pick up some medicine. So I go into the drive-in yesterday. I'm at the drive-in window, okay, and I see the guy through the glass. And how you doing? How you doing? And I said, I'm Kim Peterson. My address is 12345 Diddley Squat Lane in Alpharetta. And he says, okie dokie. I said, I'm picking up. And he said, okay. And he comes back in a second. He said, can I have that address? And I said, yeah, I just gave it to you. And I'm holding up my license into the window, okay? And I said, it's 12305 Dingleberry Lane. And he said, is that Alpharetta? What's the zip code? And I said, here, I just take my license. So open the drawer, put the license in the drawer, and he took the license in his hand. Yeah. And then he says, and can I have your the last four of your phone number? Why? And I said, my God, man, you're looking at me. I said, I'm right here. There's my license. There's my face. I'm talking to you. You can see me. And he said, well, hold on a minute. And he went to get the manager. And so now the girl comes over and said,
yes, Karen, may I help you?
She said, yeah, we need your phone number. I said, my God, I'm right here.
Kroger, they asked date of birth and last name. That's it. That's it.
And I said, ma'am, I've been coming here for almost 10 years that I've lived in my condo, my townhouse. Well, it is. It's over 9 years. And I said, this is never. I said, you mean to tell me if I change a different cell phone number, I wouldn't get my prescription? She says, oh no, we'd still, but we've had some trouble, so we went. And I said, you've got to be kidding. And I said, you're looking at me. I said, what more do you want? Anyway, I don't know what's going on, but they had some kind of problem.
What day was this?
What day was it?
What day was it?
Yesterday, Tuesday.
Well, see, there
now I should have known.
Tuesdays are fuck with seniors day.
Yeah, senior screw you day. Go to the back of the line day. Oh God. Let's see.
Mess with Whitey Day.
All right. Hold everything. Anything new with you guys? And Flounder got a kitten in the last couple of days. Anything new with you in the last couple of days since we last met?
For some reason, I've been sneezing every 15 minutes. It's the weirdest thing.
I have a lot of
like I
allergy
got the
stuff,
cat
too.
or something. I've been sneezing.
You know, it might be this weather, but now it's back in the 90s again. Yeah.
It can't be Indian summer because that doesn't start till tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Officially. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
And you don't realize.
And actually, this is the first day of fall tonight. I mean, it's
22nd,
overnight on the 21st to the 22nd, the change of that.
You realize that in a little over a week, the holidays start.
No, I don't realize that at all.
I mean, because the Halloween stuff's already out.
Yeah, I know. Halloween is everywhere. Thanksgiving's starting now. Everything's pumpkin.
Yeah, everything's pumpkin.
Oh, God.
There's even donuts. Krispy Kreme,
they're all over, yeah.
pumpkin spice flavored donuts.
Oh, they're everywhere. That's all you can find.
What the hell is pumpkin spice? I have no idea what pumpkin spice is.
I don't know, but I don't like
because pumpkins have no taste whatsoever.
I know, and my mother used to make pumpkin pie, and everybody said, oh, I hate pumpkin pie.
It's horrible.
It's awful. I've had to put so much whipped cream on
like
pumpkin pie. Oh, God.
Seriously, there's nothing to it.
Yes.
Talk about empty calories.
Yeah, and it's just all blech.
It's brown blech. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. I'm
blech.
sorry.
At least, Flounder, your stance on pumpkin pie.
I don't mind pumpkin pie as long as there's whipped cream.
Well,
why don't you just eat the whipped cream?
Well, no, I mean, because I I think pumpkin pie has a little sweet taste to it. If you put like vanilla ice cream and something like that on it, it's really good.
So seriously, it's just empty calories. You're eating mushed up cardboard, basically.
well, it's good for you.
Let's see, and again,
Is
that's why I'm giving up these stupid ho-ho things. They're not worth the calories. If I want to have
Swiss
some
rolls
chocolate or something, I'll have a hot fudge sundae. And I make it worthwhile if you're going to do something stupid.
Like I splurged. I left here Monday, and for the whole week I couldn't go anywhere last week. So I was for some reason I wanted McNuggets. I just wanted McNuggets.
Really?
So Monday
I
I
haven't
left
had
here.
it.
I got a Big Mac. I got a 10-piece McNugget with sweet and sour sauce. I got a large fry, which by the way the fries were horrible, and a McFlurry.
They're all bad,
And I'm
really.
telling you, I went to the McDonald's there on Roswell Road. The woman was friendly. I was in and out in less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
They got my complete order correct, because I was thinking, there's no way they're going to get all
Was
this
this the one on
correct.
Roswell Road, close to the bridge?
Bridge.
About when you're about to go
It's
over
near
to.
it's near Hammond. It's near Hammond.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's and you
Right
know,
there on the left. If you're. If
It's
you're
and
leaving.
they got it right. It was like being at a Chick-fil-A. It was that well run, and I was shocked.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
right before
shocked.
the Whole Foods.
Yeah, but the French fries, which is what you go there for, the French fries were stale and horrible, and it's just
They're
a shame.
terrible. Well, they cook them in that crap now. They used to cook them in beef
I
fat.
know, it used to be good.
And they put sugar in there. I'm telling you, they were the best. McDonald's said they was incomparable. Burger King had great fries 50 years ago too.
Well, they're better. I think Burger King's
Yeah,
better.
I do
and
also.
Wendy's are better.
And I used to like the curly fries, but
No,
but
Wendy's did a change. They're like it was.
They
It was
put
a,
them in all that that good for you non-fat.
well, not only
stuff.
that, they say they're more crispy, and they're not.
No,
they're
bull
they're the
crap.
opposite.
They're
I like
bad.
the McDonald's French fries that were kind of limp. I like because
No,
they were chock full of fat, man.
Well, I know. I like them well done. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Martha's Vineyard. Holy smokes. We got to take away the gun of God, there they go again. A gun and the badge of a sheriff in Texas who is now working as a stooge for the Democrat Party and President Baby Border Baby Killer. Coming up in a second. First of all, a reminder, if you go to thekimmershow.net, if you log on to that website, look for the YouTube Bippity Bop, click on the YouTube Bippity Bop where it says subscribe, click on that, and then you're done. It's free, you don't have to do anything, but that helps us gain people, and we might be able to actually keep doing this if we can actually get some money for it, which would be nice. So anyway, that would help us, and you can also link to us at 106 Gesundheit, and double bless you. 106.3 FM radio extra, which is where we do a Friday morning call, and I call them, and they play our podcast for an hour on Saturdays. Anyway, you could also get an address to send us a check. In fact, I just checked the mail. Thank you, Denise, our friend Denise. She's so sweet, and I ran out of Marine Corps thank you notes, so I'm going through the ones I've had for a year. I guess I didn't even have an order anymore. Anyway, thank you, Denise. And if you would like to be a sponsor, we have sponsors. In fact, one of our sponsors I mentioned right now is our friends at M&S Title Pawn in beautiful downtown Bremen, Georgia. The name of the company is the two letters M&S. M&S Title Pawn on Laurel Street, 306 Laurel Street, Suite A in Bremen, Georgia. Open in person for you to visit Monday through Saturday. And if you'd like to give them a call to see what they can do for you or what you can do for them, here's the phone number, area 678 821 3337 678-821 3337. What's on the back of your shirt there? Big Johnson, it says.
This is like something from the 70s. Big Johnson
that a
T-shirts. Remember them?
World's largest baseball bat.
Those are from the '90s. I remember.
No,
my
that's before them. I got this.
Because I got those in high school.
I bought this T-shirt in San Diego in 1988, I think.
Yeah, it was like I started. I mean, I was in high school or like 7th, 8th grade, which was
It was a
Really?
Big Johnson
92,
was like
91.
a funny T-shirt.
Yeah, I had a
back
bunch
then.
of those. I actually was wearing one, and my grandma was like, "Hey, can you turn around? What does that say?" Oh,
Big Johnson.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't forget our friends at M&S Title Pawn. If you want to look them up on the web, spell out M&S, and it spells out this way, MANDS title.com, manstitle.com, or look them up at M&S Title Pawn in Bremen, Georgia. And thank you again so
By
much.
the way, we just had somebody trump how bad pumpkin pie is. Candy corn.
You know, I remember the first time I ate candy corn, and it tasted like wax.
It is.
but for some reason I kept eating it. It was almost like, but I haven't had it. I mean, I wouldn't eat it now if you gave it to me. I'd say no thanks. I mean, it's just there's nothing to it.
I am traumatized by candy corn.
How so?
When I was a kid, I was the first boy born in the family in like 40 years. So all my sister, my cousins were all older girls.
Oh, God.
So I was tortured. All right.
I'll bet.
They made me when I was like 6 years old. They put candy corn on a stool and made me peck it like a chicken. And I'm telling you, I am
Just to make fun of
traumatized
you.
by candy corn.
Well, that'll do it. My God. Oh, Lordy. You know, when I was thinking for Halloween, I've only had like 4 kids in 9 years to show up at the door. But I always buy the full-size candy bars. And, of course, this year I won't be able to get the full-size Milky Ways. So don't even bother coming.
By the way, a gentleman here says, Nostalgic says, over in London, they still make the Marathon bar, which I wasn't a big fan of. They call it something else, the Curly Whirly. But they have versions of just about everything we have, except better, frankly.
Yeah, I'll bet that's true. Anyway, okay, let's talk this. There's some funny stuff going on here, and these. Oh my God, stupid ear thing. Honest to God, I'm so sorry. Hey, I know. Some memes going around and comments about the business starting. And again, we'll talk about the nuclear thing and all this stuff. But let's go to the Martha's Vineyard case is still making me nuts. A sheriff in Texas is actually trying to charge crimes, complaining that the governors who have flown migrants or bused migrants to safe cities are guilty of luring and transporting migrants to the state of Massachusetts and Martha's Vineyard. And the sheriff, Javier Salazar of Bexar County, Texas, has opened a criminal investigation.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, a local sheriff is criminally investigating the governors of Texas and Florida who sent the illegal immigrants to other cities. He said the migrants at the migrant center in San Antonio were, quote, persuaded to leave and flown to Florida, where they were immediately left to fend for themselves in Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, no, the mean streets of Martha's Vineyard.
I mean, first of all, that's a freaking lie.
Not only that, Biden's been doing this for months.
Well, we talked the last about he's been flying people in the dead
politics.
of night all over the place.
Yes, that's
for
okay,
2 years
because it's the feds.
You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this sheriff is taking it in Texas is
That guy
taking it
needs
upon
his ass
himself to
whipped.
criminally investigate. Yeah, he needs to
his
have his
ass
badge and gun
gun
taken
whipped.
away and never be able to serve in law
I
enforcement
bet
again.
he's a Democrat.
I mean, how can you explain anything other than he's a political operative
Yeah.
for the Democrats and the liberals of the
And
Democrat
this is what
Party?
they've criminalized our side of the aisle. And if we put up with it, this is just...
It's
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And in fact, okay, for the record, all those people who went to Martha's Vineyard or anywhere else are on video signing documents saying, I want to go here. I'm not being held against my will.
signed
They can all
document.
prove all of it. They got a signed document.
Side document. Lucy.
And not only that, remember the people of Martha's Vineyard reacted to having the people. They say, well, we welcome them, but we're just not equipped for anything. So they tricked them. The people of Martha's Vineyard lied to the 50 Venezuelans and said, you know what? We're going to send you to a nice place that has nice dorm rooms, and it'll be like a college campus, and we'll put you over there to make sure we can take care of you all. They sent them to the military base, telling them they were going to have these nice dorm rooms. We'll make sure. They sent them they got rid of them using the United States military in less than 2 days.
You're going to a farm in the country.
Yeah, you can play with all your friends also from Venezuela. I mean, my God, all these billionaire white people said, we'll have the military get rid of you.
They were a sanctuary island, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until they show up.
Until they got here. Yeah, not you
So
people.
that right there makes it. I mean, they're not doing anything wrong if they're flying
Right.
into a sanctuary city.
Right. And now, and now, of course, they're sending a bunch of them to Delaware, to Biden's beach area.
Well, that's where he hangs out every weekend. So good.
They should put signs on them. Say, follow me to Rehoboth.
Right, absolutely. Say, I'm here. Where do I go? Where do I
Beachfront
stay?
property.
I mean, it's freaking hysterical. But they lied to the people, the Venezuelans, and tricked them into going to the military base.
Okay.
And by the way, they're being held against their will.
But they broke into our country. I don't
Right.
care.
Right.
I don't care if they put them in prison.
They should have been sent back to wherever they came from, to
Seriously.
Venezuela.
Catapults.
Yeah. I mean, why are we even processing these
Why
people?
are we putting up with it?
Yeah, I don't understand. And they're being held against their will, for crying out loud. Get rid of this guy for sure. And by the way, did you see President Baby Killer, who was, turning his back on the press once again, leaving the podium, and someone said, some girl said, "Mr. President, do you have any comment about all these people coming, Venezuelans all coming across?" And he came back and he said, "Well," he said, "this isn't under my watch anymore. This is now Venezuela and Cuba. This is a whole different 3 more countries now are responsible, and I can't be held responsible for the border crisis with Venezuela and
It's
Cuba."
our border.
Oh, my God. He just said, well, now those 3 countries are the ones letting them in.
Well, how?
Please. I mean, these are people, again, who walked thousands of miles, and they can't be taken care of in Martha's Vineyard. They can't handle 50 of them. The people who are sturdy enough to sneak into the country walking thousands of miles. And now Biden says, well, this is now Venezuela and Cuba, and, somebody else says, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't believe it.
He gets away with it.
He said, well, under my watch, it was Mexico, but now it's Venezuela and Cuba. And,
His approval
and it
ratings
was
are up,
somebody, I
too.
forget, El
Yeah.
Salvador or somebody.
Half this country are idiots. Just
God.
abject idiots. Government-educated idiots.
I mean, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful and un-American. They're the only bad words to describe the entire thing that's going on. And that's just the beginning of it. And again, they've been sending people in overnight flights for 2 years.
They sent hundreds to Jacksonville, Florida in the middle of the night.
Yeah, right. And again, remember what they did in Chicago. She bust them out to the suburbs. Well, we don't want them in Chicago.
But you're a
Made 'em
sanctuary
life-
city.
Yeah, phonies, and they're all complaining that the 2 governors of Texas and Florida are responsible for violating human rights, for kidnapping. It's
Under-
inhumane.
Under his watch, 2 million have crossed the border and 2,000 a day.
Yeah,
And
right.
they're bitching about 50.
2
Fuck
million
them.
people have come in under his watch. 2 million people are in America. They haven't been sent back. They aren't processed and sent back. They're here. I mean,
When
how
Pete
did
was
they
out,
get here? They
remember?
didn't-
We here. We
Yeah.
here.
That's right. Hard to believe.
Aquí.
You see.
Nosotros aquí.
Another news thing, and we have to talk about. Holy moly. The video, New York City at the McDonald's. The guy gets in by the way, that was the strangest video I've seen in a very long time. The guy is getting into an argument with a bunch of people at the McDonald's, and they start hitting him.
At the garbage can, and he's just sitting there.
And people, it was one little girl's got her phone where to get the video and everything, and one guy's just getting out of there with his bag. But again, the original video of this fight at the McDonald's in New York City is, he kind of turns his back on him, and so they punch him a couple of times in the upper body and the head, and then it stops, and then he goes around the corner, takes off his backpack, pulls out his hatchet, and then starts destroying the place. I mean, so first of all, he kind of let them hit him little light punches, because he was causing a problem.
warning you.
And they, now leave us alone from now on. He says, oh yeah. So he walks around the counter, gets his hatchet out, and starts destroying the place, breaking stuff and slamming things. He did it with the blunt end of it. He wasn't chopping anybody's hands off, but he threatened the crap out of everybody there. He hit one guy in the face 2 or 3 times and knocked him off his chair onto the floor. He clearly was unhinged, swinging that hatchet around and threatening the crap out of people and going up to women and scaring the crap out of women. And eventually the cops arrested him and let him go.
Let him go. Yeah.
No bail.
Yeah.
With a hatchet.
Hatchet. Emergency hatchet.
Threatening.
Break here.
Yeah. And he had a knife in his backpack, too, just, for kicks. Okay, first of all, having a concealed weapon in New York, you go to prison.
Not anymore.
Well, he went there for a couple hours. He went to jail for a couple hours, and they let him go. And I saw him interviewed. The
They're afraid
TV
of him.
crew was waiting for him when he got out, and he was walking down the street with no shirt on. He had no shirt. His shirt was gone. And he's walking down the street saying, well, what do you expect? They were, we had a fight, and, it's just, doing a thing. I mean, like nothing. Like, oh, my God. And again, no bail. And by the way, the state of Illinois just passed a law that starting next year, no cash bail.
Oh, for kidnapping, for arson, for intimidating witnesses.
Yeah.
Because you'll let them back out. Now they can go to the
Right.
witnesses and say, yeah.
I told you.
Yeah,
I warned you.
right.
God, I mean, what are they thinking?
Democrats.
This that fat load governor up there who's Pritzker. What's it? I forgot. And,
I don't know.
and I think he wants to be president. He and Gavin Newsom, some of the worst states in the history of the country. What
They
they're
fell
doing
up.
to him. Oh my God!
Illinois is
Yeah,
going to become basically one huge crime state.
it's unbelievable.
If I'm Indiana, I'm building a wall.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And again, nobody. Have you seen any coverage of that incident in New York anywhere other than Fox? Maybe social media. Media's not touching it.
No.
Mainstream media is not touching it. How
Therefore-
could they not say, "Oh my God, this is all Democrats. This is a Democrat prosecutor who is going
George
for
Soros.
cash, no cash bail."
Don't you think Putin's done well as he's put a bounty on the head of George Soros?
Well,
dead or alive.
I'll tell you.
It's the only thing good he's done.
I mean, but again, they're ignoring the issue entirely because it makes the Democrats look bad.
That's right.
Once again, here we go. And talk about, if you can't prove that there were hundreds of thousands of phony votes stuffed in the ballot, if you may not be able to prove that from the 2020 or 2016 election or 2020 election, but you can sure prove that the election was tainted because of the coverage of the media keeping the people from knowing the truth. I mean, it's so obvious.
Social media.
Anyway, I mean, why I can't? I wish someone would ask the puppet princess for the 3 demographic check marks. She's got to be gay. She's got to be black. She's got to be female. Let's get the best one of those in the country. And nobody's asked her about this. It happened a couple of days ago. That's not even they're not even bringing it up. I mean, how can you?
I don't care what they do in New York City. They can kill each other all off for all I care.
I know, but
They
it's
can
an
sink
issue.
into the sea.
It's another example of time after time. How many cases do we need to show what's going on in the country? The crime rate. The Fox is the only place I know that keeps showing the crime rate up and up and up and up.
In Illinois, it's up. In
Oh, my
Chicago, it's
God.
up.
Everything of that. Rape, robbery, murder. The hell, somebody gets shot every 2 hours in Chicago.
And rape. Said
God.
rape
Well,
twice.
so he likes rape.
Said rape
They
twice.
like rape. Anyway, one more.
By the
Here's
way,
another. Yes.
Judy says she has an electric litter box flounder, if you'd be interested. So.
And what's that? One of those that spins around when he does his
Yeah,
business,
and then it gets out of control and splatters it around the
like a
room.
monkey.
Yeah, it's like a
Throwing
monkey.
stuff at you when
Yeah,
you
sounds
walk
like a
by.
great idea.
Yeah, let me get one of those. Yeah, get yourself a monkey.
It's like a shit blender.
Get a poop
It's,
monkey.
it's funny. Like
Everybody needs their own poop.
I got the
monkey.
cat yesterday, and I did a couple Googles of a cat house and a cat blanket. It's all I'm fucking getting now are cat stuff
I'll
on
bet.
every feed.
So excuse me. You looked up cat house on the internet?
Cat tree, like a cat tree.
Yeah, some people build it up on their wall where the cat can walk around the walls. Just
Yeah.
walk.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh God, I'm trying to fix these things as we go. I hate this. I just hate this. All right. Here's another story that's getting. I don't think any attention. I had to go look for it from a couple of days ago. In North Dakota, Shannon Brant's a 41-year-old man who is a drinker. And he was in a little town northwest of Fargo the other day, and he had an argument at an event, and he started arguing with this young kid, a teenage kid, and apparently the 41-year-old man was drunk and so angry, afraid that the 18-year-old teenager was a Republican extremist because of the way he was talking about his beliefs, that the 41-year-old adult chased down the 18-year-old teenager because he was a Republican extremist, a MAGA extremist, and ran over him and killed him with his car. It was an argument over politics. The young man, his name is Ellington, he called his mother right before he was killed to say, "This guy is chasing me. There was a street dance and we got into an argument and he said, 'You're a MAGA Republican,' and started chasing him in the car and ran over and killed him." Right after the guy was calling his mother to say, "Mom, this guy's trying to kill me," she got to the scene and it was too late and her son was dead. Her son was dead because the man even admitted to the police that they had had an argument, and because he was a danger to society. And again, who has been telling us that we're a danger to society, the MAGA Republicans? The President of the United States.
Yep.
And this man, actually, there's video of him demanding that he be free on bond because he says, "Well, I have a family. I mean, I'd hate to be here not being able to take care of my family. I mean,
buddy, you're going to be buggered in prison every damn day. I hope, Rogered to death."
Because of an argument with a teenager that he was so dangerous as a MAGA Republican that he had to be killed.
Always carry a gun. Always carry.
I don't know
gun.
why nobody had a weapon in the McDonald's in New York City. My first thought was, "Oh my God, I'd have shot the guy." But again, you go to jail.
Get arrested.
Yeah. Well, the subway Bernie Getz, the subway gunman. Anyway, but again, this crime business here, and again, it's because of the President of the United States.
Yeah, they've labeled us.
Has made us, we're the enemy. The president, actually told this guy, "Well, you need to eliminate the threat." I mean, I don't know what else to say other than.
But you know what? I consider him my enemy. I consider Democrats my enemy. So
they're my enemy now.
If I'm on their enemy list, fine.
That's right. Bring your friends.
But I'm carrying 24/7. So
I'll guarantee
start
you
some shit.
In fact, I've decided now. I'm trying to decide whether to keep a round in the chamber. And again, there's two ways to think about it, depending whether you have an automatic or a revolver. Even with a revolver, you could leave the first one empty just to make sure you don't pull it by accident. But still, I mean, it's and again, if I'm filling up my gas tank, there's my gun.
The only place I
One
worry
thing
is
you need to do is just get an outside holster.
Well, I mean,
that way the world knows what you're.
Yeah, but again, I don't want to be too blatant. But
You're
I want
not.
anybody
I mean,
coming near me to see
it'd be one thing if you were pumping gas and you had a gun in hand.
Yeah,
but
what he does.
But the thing is, I mean, if you have an open holster,
yeah,
they know.
I know. But again, it's
McGraw over here.
You seen that viral video of the bank robber trying to rob a bank? He walks in and he pulls the gun out, and the gun goes over the counter.
Yeah.
And so he tries to get over and get it, and then he falls and he just runs out.
That's a bad day. El Kabong.
That's not a good thing.
Cindy says she keeps hearing the bell, but she doesn't see me smacking you.
Oh, well, it's not a. Sorry. Oh, I'm just dying here, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Something bad's happening here. Anyway. Speaking of how liberals are running the country, for example, this is again why we need to elect Republicans coming up in the election, which is only a few weeks away. The Democrats have now said, no, we're not going to let you investigate Hunter Biden. No, that would be too embarrassing. Something bad might happen. Republicans requested documents related to the Biden crime family's international business schemes and any business deals involving son Hunter that may involve influencing U.S. foreign policy. House Democrats of the Oversight and Reform Committee considered the resolution of inquiry to deliver all documents in the president's possession related to business dealings of Hunter Biden and other Biden family members and associates. His brother Jim is as big a crook as Biden is. The committee said, no, we're not gonna allow you to do that. We're gonna keep everything secret. Hunter Biden's business dealings, sure may show how he can leverage his father's name to earn millions of dollars, but at worst could be hearing inappropriate influence on the president's foreign policy. Information from Hunter's laptop shows he made money in Ukraine and China. The wife of the mayor of Moscow gave him $3.5 million. How the president's foreign policy might be shaped around those business deals. And Biden keeps saying, I don't know anything about this. That's a lie. Frankly, in fact, Byron Donalds from Florida, the Republican congressman, said that's just a plain lie. The president's lying to me. He said, you mean to tell me that Joe Biden had no idea that his son was engaged in the sale of a cobalt mine to a Chinese company at the same time when the centerpiece of Joe Biden's energy policy is electric cars in the United States that need cobalt? I mean, you think he has no idea that this has been going on? Clay Higgins, Republican Louisiana, called the Bidens a criminal political family, and the story reads like fiction. It says, my God, who wouldn't want to read about the exploits of the grand criminal political family, the Bidens? from the loins of the big guy, Joe Biden, a fresh Democrat criminal would spring, Hunter Biden. We're absolutely going to look into this stuff. We're going to reveal it for the American people. Yeah, hopefully, if you get yourself elected, continue to and go back to running things in Congress the way it ought to be. I mean, oh God, can you? That might happen. It might happen if we get a Republican Congress. They can investigate. They'll have the power of subpoena.
So what happened?
I don't know. I know.
What happened?
Well, I mean, my original guess was Hunter's going to get away with it. I think the prosecutor, even in Delaware, is going to say, well, you know what? He was drunk. He was high. He was on cocaine. He didn't have any intention to try to break the law as a foreign agent. So we'll give him a misdemeanor fine, fine him $100,000, and tell him don't do it again. And he can't register as a foreign agent.
Joe will be legitimately senile at that point, and everybody will just say, well, what good is
Yeah,
it?
it's Biden. It's Joe Biden that committed the crime.
He's the big guy. Yeah.
He was the one in office when all this happened.
Yeah.
This guy who's never done anything but live off the public trough and corruption since he was 29 years old.
Yeah. It was on Bill Maher this weekend. He had some guest, and the guy was defending Biden. Say, look, this is a lifelong senator who's done so much while in office.
Yeah.
What?
Name
one thing he's done.
He helped the credit card
no one
companies.
questioned him either. That was the.
You know what he did do? He put a lot of African American men in jail. He did a lot.
Oh, he was proud about that.
He did that. He was prideful of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't mention that much anymore, though, does he?
Yeah, and again, here's the same guy who let in some of the funny memes going around about this. Joe Biden's let in 2 million illegal aliens into the country so far. So if it's 10% for the big guy, we owe him 200,000 more illegal aliens. Isn't it interesting how the FBI can leak information about Mar-a-Lago but never a word about Hunter's laptop? Or Epstein's clients are 10% for the big guy, selective leaking. There's a meme going around of Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump and his funny expression on his face, and he says, and just like that, Martha's Vineyard had the best soccer team in the country.
There's another one. He says, just like that, sanctuary cities didn't want to be sanctuary cities anymore.
Yeah. Welcome to Martha's Vineyard. Caution, and it shows families crossing the border. Evidently, Martha's Vineyard has a protected border, but the southern U.S. does not. Let's see. Martha's Vineyard was a sanctuary city until the bus arrived. That's really amusing.
On the ferry.
Did you hear and speaking of these freaking liberals, are going after Tim Allen now, even though this is so meaningless as to be ridiculous. Tim Allen on Monday night was tweeted out after the president was on 60 Minutes and they showed the interview and so forth. And on Monday, Tim Allen, who's now 69 years old, tweeted out about the President Empty Head's appearance on 60 Minutes. And it says, Biden was on 60 Minutes. I heard he asked how long the show was. That's what he said. I mean,
Wow.
that pretty milquetoast, you know. Oh, man, he got destroyed on social media. Immediately, so-called controversy, unfunny, lame, disrespectful. This man doesn't deserve our respect.
Not 1 ounce of it. No.
He has made us the enemy. He is not a good person.
Never has been.
He's a crook. He's
everything they claimed Trump was.
Yeah.
Everything they claimed Trump was.
His detractor now, Tim Allen's haters are saying the Toy Story star was irrelevant and washed up. The funniest thing Tim Allen did in 20 years is assume he's still relevant.
He's still selling out palaces around the country.
Yeah, they took him off of Toy Story, of course, and
His
replaced him.
last show was a Last Man Standing. It was a hit.
Yeah. And of course, supporters are coming to his support. But still, I mean, even a silly little thing like that, I mean, that's nothing. And again, just how the left, this is typical of the hateful Republicans.
It's not hateful. It's a joke.
God. It's not even a particularly amusing or funny joke. Anyway, he hasn't said much about it, but whatever. By the way, if you want to know one more thing about how Democrats feel about our country, I do. Upsadays, I got to find it here. Here we go. There was a recent survey. It turns out that most Democrats clearly think that America is not the greatest country that you could live in. Yeah. More than half, most Democrats do not believe that America is the greatest country to live in. They won't say where they do think the greatest country is. I mean, I've never seen one of their lists. But here's the other thing. The Guardian, with Arwa Modawi, just did a piece in The Guardian, and it says America is now better than Bulgaria, but not as nice as Cuba. How did the United States become such an awful place to live?
Good, because then they won't come here. Good.
Right. But here's a couple of their points. The land of the free is heading for developing country status. By the way they're turning this country into that's not far from reality.
Democrats doing it. Yeah.
But that's because of the Democrat leadership in the last 2 years, the last 5 years going after Donald Trump and refusing to cooperate in any way. It's based on a United Nations index that ranks the quality of life. What do you call a country where nearly 1 in 10 adults have medical debts? A broken bone can boot you into bankruptcy. A city of more than 160,000 residents in the country recently had no safe drinking water. Life expectancies dropped for 2 years in a row. Poor people sell their blood plasma to make ends meet. A country where maternal mortality rate of black women is twice as high as women in Syria. You'd call it one of the richest countries in the world. Second wealthiest behind China, by the way. China's now overtaken America as the wealthiest country in the world when you look at national balance sheets. That's because they own half of our country. Anyway, it says the UN has now demoted the United States. It used to be ranked number 32 in the world as a great place to live with sustainable goals. It dropped from 32 to number 41. Focused on the quality of life of ordinary people. We are now behind Cuba and just above Bulgaria.
Now, okay, because we've been led by Democrats for the last 2 years, and things are plummeting.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't argue with any of the things they're saying.
When I first saw this, I thought, well, this is another typical, and I thought, wait a minute, they may have something here because of where we're going.
Yeah, because Democrats.
And again, I was watching that John Fetterman guy in Pennsylvania. He's back to wearing the hoodies again because of that big lump on his neck. I mean, if he gets elected, he's going to have to start wearing suits and ties.
That guy looks like he's literally from hell. He looks like he's just risen from hell.
And he's got that hoodie, which is just, it looks like a terrorist. It looks like the Unabomber.
He does look like
He looks like the Unabomber.
And they're voting for him. Yeah.
And he believes in open borders, free cash bail, empty the prisons. He's more liberal than anybody you've ever known.
That's Pennsylvania?
Abortion anytime you want, for any reason, up to birth. Holy smokes. Anyway.
Don't be nice to these people who move here from other places.
No.
Do not be nice to them.
No.
Make their life a living hell, and maybe they'll leave.
Yeah. Honestly, and again, it starts. We should have, if he had just done what Trump was doing at the border, half of this stuff wouldn't have been happening. Anyway, I don't know what's going on in our nation, but it's true. We're looking at it every day, and they're still getting away with it. And somebody has to stop them.
Well, because they run everything. They seriously run everything.
Yeah. And there's more and more information coming out about this whole ESG business, the environmental, social, geographical upheaval that's going on, and Black Rock, and all these investment companies that are on the boards of all the major corporations. Anyway, it's a lot of work to do. Speaking of work to do, let's say you're driving along and you see a car you've always wanted.
You're driving along and you see a car you've always wanted.
So you're saying to yourself, man, I'd love to find out how I can maybe get that car because what I'm driving now. Boom, boom, boom. Kimmer Show podcast sponsor, SwapMyWhip.com. Whip is, of course, colloquial phrase for a ride, your car. And if you go to SwapMyWhip.com, you can see other like-minded car dealers who may be wanting to trade or swap their ride with what you're driving. And again, you cut out the businessmen, you cut out the dealerships, you cut out the used car salesmen, you cut out the middle guys, you avoid it all entirely, and you make your own deal. And it's not just cars. We're talking boats or trucks or jet skis or off-road vehicles or, all that kind of stuff. Check it out, swapmywhip.com. And if you use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, you get 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. Now think about what a great idea this is. Check it out, swapmywhip.com, and you may say, holy cow, I've always wanted that car, and there it is. Wow. Make your own deal, bing, bang, boom, and have some fun. Swapmywhip.com. And again, thank you for your patronage. We appreciate it very, very much.
So I don't know if this is concerning news, Flounder. It seems like Rex the Wonder Cat has gained access to the internet.
Uh-oh.
And is now on Chewy.com. So he's ordering.
Oh, he ordered some stuff already? You packaged some outside your door?
It was kind of lucky because the two friends who are donating the cat, they brought me 2 cat bed. I mean, everything. Toys, food, dry food, wet. I mean, everything. I didn't have to go to the store at all.
Excellent.
No wet food? No cans?
No, I got that. I do. He gets half a can in the morning and then half a can in the afternoon.
Now, did he eat?
He ate this morning, and when I just left, so he'll go and eat the wet food. He hasn't messed with the dry food yet, but
He ain't stupid.
Now, what about, do you feed him water or milk?
Yeah, he's got water.
Okay,
No
because
milk
milk can be bad. Milk can give him...
Well, as a baby, I mean, we're just doing the basics right now. So
No, you don't get the milk gives you worms thing.
No. It gives him colic. It makes him puke up the like
Hairballs?
Hairballs, yeah. I think now cats love milk.
Well, they get congested.
But I think they can get a little throat problems from it or digestive issues. I know that's what I've always understood. And again, water's fine. It's not like they need milk as long as they get the right kind of food. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to actually see him running around here. That'll be kind of fun.
That cat has drinking better water than the denizens of Jackson right there.
Yeah, we just mentioned oh God, there they go again. Sorry. Okay, now let's talk about Putin has now threatened nuclear war. I don't know what more evidence you need that a man needs to be killed. He today ordered Russia's first mobilization since World War II. Let me say that again. Russia's President Putin has ordered a mobilization for the first time since World War II and has backed a plan to annex huge swaths of Ukraine and says he is not bluffing when he's ready to use nuclear weapons to defend Russia. It's the biggest escalation of the war since his February invasion. He improved a plan to annex a chunk of Ukraine the size of Hungary, called up 300,000 soldiers, and nobody wants to serve. I mean, he's had some serious morale and defection issues. He says the West is plotting to destroy Russia, engaging in nuclear blackmail by discussing the potential use of nuclear weapons against Moscow. He accuses America and the European Union and Britain of encouraging Ukraine to push military operations into Russia. So that's again his latest excuse. But again, here's the leader of Russia threatening to use nuclear weapons. I know. What more do you need? Can we allow that? Hope he's kidding. Hope he's not serious.
North Korea gets away with it.
I can't imagine.
We don't do anything about Iran. We don't do anything about North Korea. What are we going to do about Russia?
Well, hell, President Potato Head's trying to make another deal with Iran, for God's sakes.
I know. And by the way, the Iranians are rebelling. They're mad.
Yeah.
Because of that woman that died and by the moral police killed her.
Yeah.
Because
she refused to have a hijab on her. She refused to cover up, so they killed her.
The problem with the Iranians is they always revolt when there's a Democrat as president, like Obama, that will not support him.
Right.
If they'd have rebelled under Trump, he would have supported him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right, and he did. Remember, Trump more than once said, these people you see them rioting in the streets. It's the Arab Spring or all that kind of stuff. I mean, Republicans, conservatives supported all these kinds of things.
Obama ignored them, and it died.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. By the way, again, I don't do this very often, but occasionally I will check Twitter and see what's going on in Twitter. And one of the things I thought, there are two things that happened in Twitter which I thought were pretty bizarre. One of them was trending was that Putin is dead. And Rocky said, "No, wait a minute. Stop making up Putin is dead trend. It's not cool. You gave my hopes up for no reason." And the most anticipated photo in 2022 is the president of Ukraine taking a selfie with a dead body of Putin in a casket. One guy says, "I saw Putin is dead trending and realized even if it was true," he says, "we still have a bigger threat right here at home to worry about, Donald Trump."
Jeez.
I mean, everything that happens, they're going to turn it against Donald Trump. Let's see. Catgirl says, "Never forget Trump enabled this genocidal war criminal in the first place." I mean,
Putin's been in power for 20 years.
I know. It's unbelievable. There's a picture of the Weekend at Bernie's movie poster, and it has Putin's picture for the guy dragging his dead body to keep the party
Something
going.
I found out yesterday.
What?
The Queen met every U.S. president, starting with Truman, when she was a princess. Starting with Truman,
Yeah.
she met everyone but one. Which one do you think she did not meet?
LBJ?
Yeah, LBJ.
Let's think why. 60s?
Vietnam
Vietnam?
War.
Yeah, Vietnam. Have a lot going on.
Well,
Civil
he was
rights,
ki-
Vietnam.
He was kind of a dick, too. He probably didn't want to. Doesn't
Yeah.
care.
He probably should let her come over here.
Yeah, probably something
If
like
she
that.
wants to come over here, let her come over here.
I can see him being that way.
I guarantee you he was that way.
He'd probably pick her up by the ears, like he did his dog.
Like his beagles. Let me see your scar.
I have a question,
Yeah.
because you're a horse guy.
Yeah.
Along the road, I noticed that, especially around turns, they had put dirt down. Was that to keep the horses from to have a better grip on the road as they came around turns? It was on certain places. There's dirt.
I don't know. I would assume yes. That's clearly the answer because, again, I think though I'm not even sure whether the horses had shoes on. Sometimes they have rubber shoes, which a lot of owners will put on in wintertime if there's actual snow or moisture and stuff. Put a rubber pad on the bottom of their hoof. And I don't know whether those horses had. I assume they probably did not have shoes on, or if they did, they were not heavy metal shoes. And I don't remember hearing any loud clicking, clacking
heard
of
the
horse hooves.
marching, but
yeah,
not the-
but I don't remember hearing. And you would have heard it with all those horses, I think. So I don't know. That's a great question. I should probably try to Google that later and find out. But and I assume they did that because it's better for the horses, gives them better tracking. If it's not if it's not sandy and slippery, but if it's dirt,
Yeah,
it's
it looked
much
like
better.
packed dirt.
Yeah, that's
on
much
it.
better than on pavement or
I
asphalt.
also found out why they use humans to pull the carriage.
Why.
Because 100 years ago, they used horses, and the horses kind of bolted.
Oh, really?
Which isn't a good scene to have dragging the king down the road.
Well, yeah.
So I figured the humans would be less
Yeah.
apt to bolt,
Yeah.
and it's true.
Well, and again, those horses were magnificent, and
The
you could still see
Marines,
them. Yeah.
with the gold helmets and the
Yeah.
gold chest plates and the
I know.
swords.
I know.
That was intimidating.
Yeah.
Holy, and the sun
mean,
shining off of them, and the red coats and stuff.
I loved watching the whole thing. I mean, I was enthralled by it. I thought it was
But that's
great.
a good look, holding that sword
Yeah,
with the plume and
absolutely.
the gold plates and
Yeah.
stuff. Holy cow!
Yeah,
That'd be a good look.
yeah, I could see that.
You're getting laid if you. Yeah, what'd you do in the procession? Here's what I was doing. Oh, come to my. I mean, seriously, they're getting laid.
I just hand out a business card. Also, this is a little adult here for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. But I also, when I went in to look to see what was trending, I went into Twitter and I hit my open up the beginning page thing. And what was trending is the word dickhead. So, of course, I immediately clicked on it to see, well, how could dickhead be trending? I mean, and the first thing that comes up is a picture of President Kill the Babies at the Border, Joe Baby Killer, with somebody drawing a picture of Big Al and the twins on his forehead. And someone said, although he's already running for the position, he already has dickhead. Of course, somebody else, some French guy said, "You Americans are a different breed." And someone wrote in, "Ron DeSantis is a fascist dickhead." Of course, they mentioned Donald Trump. "I tried to steal an election that I know was stolen. I still lost, dickhead." Is Ron DeSantis running for governor, president, or dickhead? Donald Trump is a traitor, terrorist, and treasonous dickhead. I mean, it doesn't take much to get Twitter people going. And again, I'll do this for 20 seconds and then I'm done. I can't be bothered. People do this all day long.
I know. They sit there and argue with people on there. And
I do it maybe twice a day for literally 20 or 30 seconds, and I can't take it anymore because I just say
it's
I'm
not
not
fun
doing
anymore. Seriously, it's not fun anymore.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not funny or fun or worth it.
Kimmer's Twitter moment brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. That's right. All our custom shirts and hats and signs and tumblers and leather goods with this laser engraving tool they have. Anything you want for the Kimmer Show or Autograph of the Sports, FarmhousePrintingCo.com is the place to go for all your printing needs.
And in fact, I've got to get a hold of Eric. I've got a whole bunch of things I want to do, and I'll do them one at a time. But with holidays coming up, he just mentioned we're already talking about Halloween, but they make great gifts and great stuff. And,
He just hit his shin on the coffee table. That had to hurt.
Oh, you know that.
I think he left a pound of flesh.
That's going to leave a mark. Let's see. What's this about crazy kids?
You would ask me that.
I would ask you that. Well, I've got
Crazy
when
kids.
Flounder comes back, I want to play a couple of sound bites of some weird people acting ridiculous.
All right, crazy kids.
Yes.
All right, I got you right here. Crazy kids, what they're up to. Guess what the latest TikTok trend is?
Well, let's see. God, hard to tell. They did a lot of things about how liberals want to change our children's genders and stuff. I don't know. God knows what's going on.
They're marinating their chicken before they cook it.
A live chicken?
No, they're not. No.
Well, no, I don't get it. What do you mean?
Well, you marinate chicken before you cook it.
Yeah. So
They're using NyQuil.
NyQuil.
And the NyQuil people have come out and said, this is not a good idea. This will kill
Isn't this
you.
to make you sleep?
Yeah, because they're putting the whole jar in there, which can kill you. I mean, it'll kill your liver like that. It's all full of acetaminophen. You can't drink a whole bottle of NyQuil or bad things happen. And they're marinating it and cooking it, and some of them are getting really sick on it.
That's the Tylenol, right? Tylenol is acetaminophen.
Yeah, both of them.
Advil is ibuprofen.
But both of them will hurt your liver. But
Yeah.
the acetaminophen really
Well,
works.
they say the danger of taking too many of those pills is liver damage.
Right.
But again, you'd have to do it, 10 an hour for a couple of weeks. I mean, it'd really hurt you.
But the
still,
NyQuil-
if you pour a bottle of NyQuil on a chicken, the taste can't be any good, is it?
Actually, I love
Probably
NyQuil.
just sugary.
God, I love NyQuil.
Well, I suppose it's like pouring a Coke on a turkey, basting your turkey in Coke.
My mother used to have to hide the cough medicine from me. The cherry flavored
Really?
cough medicine. Oh my God!
God, we used to have, when I was a
Loved
kid, my mother used to have
I'm gonna
something
get
that
some today.
was like an orange flavored, thick, syrupy orange flavored.
Robitussin.
No, I can't remember the name of the damn thing, but it was thick, like honey almost, and a real strong.
It was almost like Jägermeister.
Yeah, that stuff.
That's why I
to
love
me-
Jägermeister, because it tastes like cough syrup.
My memories of Jägermeister on the Kimmer Snowball Open.
Oh yeah, me and Matt Stewart almost wrecking the. How fast can this cart go down this hill? Well, let's find out.
There are no brakes, I guess.
How about
anywhere.
Ralph from Ben Hill? Who I don't think was on NyQuil.
Oh my God,
What did
no.
he? Didn't he tip one over?
Yeah,
or
and he
put
had
it
a cripple. Didn't he have a? We gave a golf cart to a guy with no legs or something. Of course, he tipped it over.
Put it in the pond or something.
Yeah, he went into off a bridge into a creek or something. And Ralph from Ben Hill, did he drive it away or steal it or something?
No, I
or
think he
crack
flipped
it up?
I think he flipped it. Matt and I tried to flip it.
Yeah, we should do that again.
Those suckers can go fast down that hill.
Jägermeister.
Where was that? Was over. What's it called? There in North Atlanta, Buckhead. What was that?
Oh, Chastain Park.
Chastain Park.
Yeah.
That's right. And we were hitting. I remember slicing a couple across the road into people's houses and stuff.
Not hard to do. Oh, mercy. Anyway, so yeah, NyQuil. No, don't be doing that. Well, where'd Flounder go?
He went to check on his
Check on the cat. Oh, I hope he's all right. He should leave.
cat will
You know,
be
he doesn't want
fine.
to leave that door open. I think I should just leave the door open. Let
Well,
the
it's
cat,
a little loud today. Maybe in a couple days.
Yeah, but I mean, he's whatever.
That-
Anyway, we're happy for Flounder and want to.
We want to pet the cat.
And we got to get him a name, I guess. Well, that'll
Yeah,
be the
Flounder
goal.
has
is
to name him.
Have him name. Speaking of what the liberals are up to, finally, a group of Republican attorneys general, AGs from various states, are trying to convince Visa, MasterCard, and American Express to stop tracking gun sales. If you use a credit card to buy a gun at a gun store, they're going to track you, and Visa, MasterCard, and Amex are going to give the information to the FBI and
hell they
federal
are.
authorities.
How much you want for that gun? I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Uh-huh. Yep, pay cash and do
Yep.
it in person, my friends.
Pay cash.
And they're arguing that this will infringe on consumer privacy and pushing legal gun sales out of the mainstream network.
How the hell
No
is that
kidding.
legal to follow what you're and sell it to the feds? How's that legal?
I can't imagine. Well, they can do what they want. Who's going to stop them?
I know. That's Wall Street.
Congress isn't going to stop them.
Wall
The
Street's-
president's not going to stop them. The banking people aren't going to stop them. The FBI is the one, FBI should be saying, no, hold on, that's against, the Constitution. Oh, yeah, that'll be the day.
How about the
FBI freaking
ACLU?
Stasi
Where's the
Nazis.
ACLU?
Yeah. Again, the ACLU, as a child of the 60s, as much as we used to hate the issues that they would pick, even as a younger, a much more liberal college-type student at the time, I always used to admire the ACLU because they would take any case because it was the right thing to do. Everybody deserves a lawyer. Even the worst of us deserve to have a fair day in court. If you don't believe that, then you're a Nazi. I mean, but I don't have any respect for the ACLU or the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's a hate
Oh, that has
organization
been
now.
bad for it. When I was a kid, it was something. When they were fighting the
This is
Klan.
40 years
but now
ago.
they're
This is in
fighting
the 70s.
They think
Yeah.
we're the Klan.
Yeah, I know. It's all changed.
Well, they ran out of enemies because they killed the Klan. So basically, they had
Yeah.
to keep going
Yeah.
with something.
I guess. And the ACLU, as it turned out to be the same thing, is very, very.
I remember interviewing a lady
disappointing.
from the ACLU in the 90s on my show, and she was talking about the fingerprint when Zell Miller put our fingerprints on the damn
driver's license.
driver's license. And she was explaining, and she was a liberal Democrat. She goes, look, you got to stop stuff like this because this is a line in the sand. And what they'll do is they'll pass this, and they say, no, that's as far as we'll go. And then in a year or so, they'll erase that line and put the line over here.
Right.
And they'll keep moving that line till you wake up one morning and you don't have it. And I sometimes wonder what she's doing now because she can't be working for that organization anymore because they don't believe that anymore.
And again, the reason they get away with it is because if you were to tell somebody, look, the reason we want to have a fingerprint on the thing is because if we don't, we want to be able to prove if your body's burned or whatever, and have we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that your poor victim of the car wreck was identified properly or whatever. So I mean, it makes sense that you ought to be able to tell the next of kin if there's an issue or something like that. But that's not the point. I mean, it sounds really good to say, well, we're trying to protect the right of a family to know when somebody might be in it or whatever. But that's
not why they did it.
That's not why they did it.
They did it to put everybody in
keep
Georgia
track of you
with a fingerprint.
Yeah, to have your fingerprints on file for everybody in Georgia. So if they need it for whatever their purpose might be, they've got it.
And that was the great Zell Miller behind that crap.
Yeah. Again, that was a different time. What was that? What was the 80s?
That was the 90s.
Was that 90s?
I even gave a speech on the Capitol steps over this thing. At a
Really?
rally. I was one of the speakers in
No
the rally
kidding.
against that.
No, is that right?
I withheld. I tried to keep it. Now, and what got me
Were you
is
at Georgia State then, or were you still?
no,
were you
I was
working?
at GST.
Oh, in the 90s.
Yeah,
that's
in the
right, too.
90s.
The 90s,
yeah. Yeah, and I had already been fingerprinted a couple times because I'd worked for the IRS and done that stuff. So
Yeah.
they already had my fingerprint,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was saying, this is bullshit putting it on our damn driver's license. You don't need that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and now
Now the line in the sand is moved. Now nobody even gives it a second thought.
Yeah. Do I? Is my fingerprint on my
I'm
license?
sure to look at it.
Look,
at
I
it.
don't.
Let's
Isn't
look
that
at,
funny?
Look at your driver's license.
I don't
right now.
remember.
What are we looking for?
Fingerprint on the back of it.
Is your fingerprint on the driver's license?
Well, now they have.
Yes, it is. Oh no! Wait a minute.
Did they take it off?
No, I don't see I don't remember giving my fingerprint.
Holograms now.
I'm trying to see if I can see it on here. There's my photo.
Yeah, I've got three. I've got a double hologram photo.
I'm trying to see if I find. Now, on the back of it, used to be real easy to find. Now, there's that barcode type thing.
Yeah, and
You think
there's
it's
the
hidden
state
in-
seal.
See, it could be hidden in that information bar.
I don't remember giving my fingerprint when I got my license.
Did they take it off when he was out of office? I can't remember if they took it back or
We
not.
should probably try to Google that.
If someone knew.
As a friendly reminder, I've been helping out the cat. What have y'all been talking about?
Oh, is the kitty okay?
He's
Did you see
yeah.
him?
He's eating a little off my hand. Like
That's great.
We have there's a can. It's not a candy, but it's a kind of like Twizzler or something, and they go nuts over the smell. So you
Yeah,
put that on your
cat-
hand.
Got some of those. I'll bring them to you.
So he's still a little nervous, but he's starting to.
Good.
Motherfucker's gonna have to accept me.
Oh, he will. Believe me.
By Friday, I want him on that couch on the internet.
And by the way,
Well, for a while. This will be the one room he'll stay away from, just because of all the cordage I have in here right now.
Oh,
Cats-
he'll love it.
cats
Believe me,
love
he'll be in
chewing
your
cord.
Well,
cabinets.
if I was, he'll either be
He'll be
dead
hiding
or
under the couch. He'll be going in your cabinets. He'll go on your tree. That
You may
little
want to
palm tree
spray
over in the corner.
something on these.
Yeah, he'll be
wires.
going.
Well, I'm gonna get a cat tree and a couple other things. Just
Yeah,
they say
a
not to
little
get
jungle gym thing.
whatever the cat tree is. You don't want the carpet on there.
Why?
Because he'll go crazy for
Yeah, he'll
carpet.
scratching it. Yeah.
So there's another kind of material they put on there. It's almost like a rope that they go
Oh yeah,
they go crazy over. So
Cool. That's good. I'm happy for you. I think that's really
yeah,
cool.
it's not about me anymore.
Well, let's find out if we have fingerprints on driver's licenses.
Award.
I don't see my fingerprint on here, but I don't know whether it's in there somewhere.
They may have taken it off.
I don't.
subsequent
I do not.
administrations.
Of course, I haven't actually posed for a driver's license picture in years. I mean, because they just keep
know.
getting renewed.
keep
So I
taking-
don't. I mean, it's been probably
When's the next one you're supposed to get renewed?
Another
I always forget.
three or 4 years. I think I've got another at least
forget.
couple. I think it now goes for like 8 years at a time or something.
I've got till 2024. I got 2 more years.
Well, now that you
The
mention
Georgia
it,
ones too. Now, if you're under 21, it's this way. Like the driver's license, like the picture is on top. It's more diagonal.
oh really?
Yeah. So if you're under 21, it's not rectangular. Like
Yeah.
it's turned
I've
the
got
other
another
way.
5 years.
Damn.
I think they go like for 8 years now or something. At a certain age, I think when you hit, I really don't remember. I'm not sure, but I think at some point I think they let you have it for like 8 years, or maybe you can pay I think that's what it was. I think if you pay an extra $20, you get an extra 5 years on it
Really?
or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Which is kind of bizarre.
All right, here we go. We got Bobby says he worked driver's license fraud in the early, and it was needed. No, it wasn't. Bobby. No, we somehow managed to get away with it for 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The barcode is your fingerprint digitized. Yeah, they've already got it.
Oh, they do have it?
But then Bobby says, no, it's not your fingerprint. They stopped doing it in 2005. Damn
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
Sonny
fingerprint.
Purdue stopped it, according to Bobby here.
Yeah. Bobby, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
So good. Yeah.
For the information.
I want to say on the Georgia driver's license, there's over 10 holograms in the driver's license.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 little ones I see that I can see. I'll
Yeah.
bet there's probably
So
even
there's
more.
a bunch that you probably can't see.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
How the hell did y'all get to driver's license?
I don't know. I don't remember. How did we get to anything?
Oh,
in this?
we were talking about privacy and the state getting our fingerprints for the driver's license and stuff like that.
Yeah. Damn it! Just things went on. An executive named Doug Ramsey. Oh my God! He used to be one of my news directors named Doug Ramsey. A guy named Doug Ramsey is an executive at a company called Beyond Meat, which is a plant-based food company. In other words, the phony meat company top executive named Doug Ramsey got into a fight outside a college football game
Yep. SEC.
in Fayetteville,
Arkansas.
and he got charged with making a terroristic threat after the attack in the parking garage, fighting about the game. This plant-based food executive also ate the guy's nose.
The nose meat is still on the menu because he took a tip off.
You can eat nose meat. That's not like beef.
What, you know how he got the job? By a nose.
A nose. He was
But
elected.
the interesting thing about this happened in the parking deck. First of all, there's parking decks in Fayetteville. I did not know.
Yeah.
Basically, this guy was in his Bronco, Ramsey. This Subaru tries to butt in front of him as they're leaving and bumps his front tire.
Uh-oh.
Which puts Doug over the edge.
Yeah.
First of all, it's the first episode of a alpha male in a Subaru.
Right.
Starting some shit. That never happens. Doug got out of his Bronco and punched through the back window of the Subaru. Punched through it. Then he dragged the Subaru guy out of his car, started body punching him, and then bit his nose.
Well, he's been arrested.
Look, SEC, it just means more. It just means more.
If you're driving a Subaru, don't go banging into Broncos in the
No,
parking lot. Come
that's
on.
stupid.
I mean, jeez.
I've never done it. First of all, Subarus are great cars, but everybody who drives them listens to NPR.
My
come
daughter,
on.
but believe me,
Seriously.
both my daughters are huge Subaru fans. I think
They
we
last
both-
forever.
Yeah.
They last forever.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of one being driven by an alpha male who
No,
bumped into a
not
Bronco.
that I know of.
That guy's, you're talking about an outlier.
Yeah. Anyway. Also, this is getting a little mamby-pamby to me, and I guess it's probably because I'm heartless and cruel. There's an organization called the United States Preventive Services Task Force. This is a task force which is concerned with influencing guidelines on health of Americans, okay? U.S. Task Force, Preventative Service Task Force. They are now recommending that American doctors screen every adult over the age of 65. Every adult over the age of 65 should be screened for anxiety problems. The recommending anxiety screening in primary care for adults without any symptoms. There are risks, potential benefits and risks if you don't do the screening. There's a surge in mental health problems because of the pandemic, isolation, and stress. It's very timely. The University of Massachusetts Medical School says the task force evidence for benefits, including treatment, outweighs any risk, which includes inaccurate screening for adults that could lead to unnecessary follow-up care. Everything's a freaking symptom. Everything is a disease, and now they want to make some more diseases, which they can therefore treat with more pharmaceuticals, I guess, and other health things. So we're going to need a whole nother set of doctors and pharmaceuticals for anxiety disorders. Are among the most common mental health complaints in the world. 40% of women have anxiety disorder. I bet it's a lot higher than that. Black people and those living in poverty face anxiety, mental health issues. Here we go. Let's make race an issue on it, too. Ay, ay, ay. There's always something. There's always something. All right, hold everything. Pete, I have a little note here that's. By the way, have we got a couple of those sound bites to play? We'll play those in just a second. A couple of funny things, which if you haven't heard them, they're worth hearing. First of all, Pete wanted to tell us something about postponing your vasectomy.
Yeah.
Now, I got mine in 1975. After my second daughter was born, I said, that's all the kids I want. Snip, snap, snoop.
All right. How about this? You're at the local doctor's office.
All right.
And he's got the old electrical thing out there. It's plugged into the wall. It's all ready to go, right?
All right.
It was electric, right? Whatever you used on you, or did he take
No, it was
manual?
Manual.
Well, that was back before the turn of the century, so I imagine so. Anyway, nowadays it's
I was the first guy I know to get a
bet you were.
vasectomy. It was 74, I think, 1974.
First in line for that. Most of them are electric now. It's an electric thing. That
I had no idea.
Snip, snip. Well, the guy goes into his urologist, all set to do this and everything, and the power goes out.
Uh-oh.
So I would take this as a sign from God that it's time to leave. And the doc goes, no, I got you, don't worry. And the doc goes outside, and he comes back in, turns on the thing, and it's humming again.
Yeah.
What do you think he did?
Well, he must have gotten some battery power from his lawnmower or something, or an electric drill.
His truck. He went and hooked the machine up to his electric truck
Oh my God.
and powered it that way, and the guy let him do it. Now, would you do it? Would you let him? Because what if
Well,
that battery goes out at
I
any
don't-
time in the truck?
I don't know what you mean by an what do you mean
the
what's
snippers were electric.
Well, okay. When I had mine, you go in there and you lay down on the table. Well, I'll describe it, but because this is what happened, and they you expose your the twins, and he takes gives you a shot to numb up your twins.
Where does he shoot you?
In the twins.
Ah!
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
No.
it's not. That's the worst thing, and then it's over. But after that, it's over. So anyway,
yeah, it's over,
He
all
gives
right.
you a couple of needles in the twins, get them all numbed up, and then the bad part is you can. What he does, he takes a scalpel, or he did with me, 1974, 1975, and he makes a cut in there. And pulls out the cord
Okay, that's okay. No
and
more.
snips
no,
it
no more. No.
and sews it together.
But at some point now, it's
so that
electric.
it's blocked, so that he snips it and cuts the end, so that nothing can ever go anywhere. The problem was you could feel him tugging it,
Oh my God!
and then
Stop.
Well, no, we're
Two
all
of
done
the
with
three
that.
say stop.
No, that was all. That's the part that was all done. The after effects did include swelling and discomfort. I felt like you got kicked in the nuts.
You want to hear a funny, quick story
I do.
about my mom and dad? My mom threw a vasectomy party for my dad when he had gotten home. Like, we lived in a cul-de-sac, and we had a bunch of good friends in the cul-de-sac, and my parents always hung out with them. And he got home, and he went right upstairs, took his sleeping pills, whatever they gave him, and he went to sleep.
An ice pack.
And he woke up with
No, really?
with the cul-de-sac friends all sitting on the floor drinking. He's like, "What are y'all
your
doing
mother.
here?"
It sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your mother. That's pretty funny. Anyway, it was nothing. It was worth doing. It was nothing to it, and it was it was no big deal. And I would
assuming
recommend.
today
and again,
they do-
I did it because my wife, my starter wife, had some serious ovary problems when she was a teenage girl, and they had to remove one of her ovaries, or I forget, whatever it was. So she had been put on the birth control pill when she was about 16 years old to regulate her periods. So when we got married and we had a couple of kids, she'd been on the pill since she was a teenager. So I said, well, hell, I'll just get a vasectomy. You can stop taking the pill. Because at the time, this is in the 70s, when people were worried about the pill causing cancer.
But then what happens? You're no longer married to that woman, and what if you wanted to start a
I didn't
family
want
with
them.
another?
I knew I didn't want any more kids.
Okay. Well, you never know that though.
Well,
You don't know that.
You
Well,
had you spread your seed.
I was done.
Yeah.
I
He'd sown
procreated.
his oats.
I procreated.
Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, and again, how many others may have been, from years before I.
But
Who am I?
I'm picturing this guy with like a Ronco electric thing.
See, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what that means electrically.
Yeah.
Do they not even have to cut you open now? Maybe.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe
the thing. I wonder if they do it with laser. I'll have to ask my brother because my brother
Maybe
got
it's
one.
all laser
but
and they
it's-
just burn it so you
I'm
don't
sure
ever
there's
have
a
to get
tad
cut.
bit of swelling, but not like what people used to have to
Well,
go
it
through.
was. I mean, again, when I had my eyes done, it was in 1991 or 2. It was radial keratotomy done by hand,
Yeah.
where they open up your eye
What
and
if
he
he
takes a
sneezed?
scalpel.
What if he
zit, zit,
sneezed?
zit.
Like achoo. Shoot.
I'll tell you, it was scary
walk
because
around
you
with a
can see him doing it.
patch the rest
you
of
can,
your
and you can see the thing
Patches.
right in your eyeball.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. That is never gonna happen.
Anyway,
Those are
that's
two
fun.
things that are never gonna happen.
What's the other one?
The vasectomy.
As it should be. All right. I'm gonna brag about our one of our Kimmer Show podcast sponsors in a second. First of all, Flounder, let's make fun of Vice President side piece. The Miss Word Salad did it again. Oh my God! Let's remember, you're about to hear something where she was explaining to a bunch of professionals the importance of having community banks. Again, what can you ever remember a vice president being covered because he or she is talking about the value of community banks to somebody? I mean, is that a vice presidential media thing? I mean, anyway,
They
the whole
cover everything.
again, she was only picked because President Stupid said, I'm going to pick a black woman. I want to pick a black woman to run on the ticket. And then he couldn't find one other than that one. She's the best black female in America to be vice president?
Ridiculous.
The same reason he said, I'm going to pick a Supreme Court justice who's a female and black. Period. That's nobody else is authorized to be there. He's going to pick a woman for the podium who is black, female, and gay. So you're going to pick the best black female gay? I mean, and again, he didn't get the best one of those in America either. Anyway, but Carmela was picked because she was a black female. Even though she was so unpopular, she dropped out of the race before she ever got a vote. I know. She never got a vote, not one. But Biden was so stupid that when all is said and done, he's left with who? Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar? And Carmela? I mean, what's he supposed to do? He said he's going to get a girl and a black chick, so he's screwed. He left it. He gave everybody no choice. I mean, it's the dumbest thing in the world. Well, now we get what we pay for. Remember, she had to hire actors, little kid actors, to say, you can get to see space, you can see stars, you can see the world, you're son, like that. Well, here she is, our vice president of the United States, who's addressing a professional group talking about community banking. And again, she must think that she's in a third grade class. There we go. Flounder?
So we invested an additional $12 billion into community banks because we know community banks are in the community and understand the needs and desires of that community as well as the talent and capacity of community.
Oh my
Community.
God.
You want to hear that one more time?
Yeah, please, one more time.
So we invested an additional $12 billion into community banks because we know community banks are in the community and understand the needs and desires of that community as well as the talent and capacity of community.
You know, it's like she didn't even prepare, even think about what she was going to say. I mean, nobody understands. I guess all the staff is still leaving in droves or something, and nobody's helping her out.
They're doing it on purpose.
I mean,
now.
oh my God, making her look that bad that they know she can't be running on the. They can't have her as part of the ticket next time.
You know what her favorite TV show was?
What?
Community.
But again, I mean, how lazy can you be? I mean, here's a woman who said when he made her czar of the border, and she says, no, I'll look into the root causes. Okay, Carmela, the root causes are people want a better life, and they can get one in America. Ta-da! That's the only reason they're coming to America, for a better life. That's the root cause. I mean, that's it.
You think at this point, even she should realize I'm not going to say the same word over and over again.
I mean, how
because
could
they
she
make fun of me?
How could she not know that this
She's
makes
so
her look like an
stupid.
idiot?
Because she's that stupid.
My God, if you look up in a thesaurus, the word lazy, it's got her picture. By the way, it also says see shiftless. I mean, she's a shiftless, lazy, nothing, nobody. I mean, how dumb can you? I mean, embarrassingly dumb. And the border is secure. And when she went on was being interviewed, and they said, and she says the border is secure, and then she said, well, the Republicans have to help us come up with a border policy. Oh my God! I mean, we
had one.
Yeah, we did. It was working too. Anyway, and now speaking of liberal, let's play one more. The Don Lemon. This was hysterical.
You know who he looks like in the video? Do you remember that show Family Matters?
Yeah.
The nerd Steve Urkel? He looks like Steve Urkel. He's lost a lot of weight in his face.
Who are we talking about?
Don Lemon.
Oh, Don Lemon. Yeah, okay.
So he's interviewing. He's trying to make a case with the royal family and the death of the Queen and all the ceremony and everything. So he's got this British woman on his show, and he's trying to embarrass her and he's complaining basically that the British royal family is so rich and so white that they owe it to the world to start paying reparations for all the colonialism they caused and were responsible for all over the world. So he starts to ask her about, he wants this British chick who represents, a significant part of the British authority in remembrance of the Queen. of the British Empire, and he tries to embarrass and humiliate her by claiming that she should admit that the British Empire owes reparations to the world. Here's how that went.
There's all of this wealth, and you hear about it, comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And when across the entire world, when the slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
Pause.
It's an interesting discussion.
It looked like he got caught fighting in the elevator.
Bill Maher said the exact same thing. He
Yeah.
goes, where do you think the slavery started?
Right.
He says, every human's on this planet, not just, he goes, America didn't invent slavery in 1619.
Right.
The one thing she's wrong about, Arabs did go into the interior
Yeah.
and buy them and
Yeah.
take them to the coast.
That's right.
And the British stopped that.
Yeah.
The only time Africa was free of slavery was when the British were running most of the continent.
The other thing Don Lemon doesn't bring up is slavery still exists.
Yeah.
Oh, there was
well,
a thing
of course.
yesterday. The BBC said that it's up to 20 million people are slaves
Yeah.
in this. That's like the highest it's been in 200
Well,
years.
they got millions of just the Uyghurs
Uyghurs.
the Uyghurs in China.
China.
And
Middle
by the way-
East.
and by the way, in case you've forgotten, and again, read the book Mayflower, a bunch of others, which Pete will tell you about.
I've
if you need to.
started, but I paused a little
Oh,
bit
you've
because
got the book?
Yeah, he brought it yesterday, and I started the first chapter. But
What
then
do
they
you
brought a cat book over, so I've kind of been.
But it doesn't read like a history book.
No, not
but
it's
interesting.
I've
as hell.
started. It seems like a very easy read, so I'm
Yeah,
looking
it
forward
is.
to it.
It's Mayflower, and
Write things down
Are you
that
okay?
you
Would-
did not know.
No, well, I was gonna say, do you mind if I highlight it? I'll
Sure,
I'll get a next one because
don't
I'll
worry
have
about it.
questions for you guys. I think.
Highlight. But every time he says something that you weren't taught in school,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mark it and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
But even things like he actually has the actual words of letters written by the families coming across and what they went through. I mean, you really get a real idea of what it must have been like. And the
Yeah, the
Indian
first. I mean, the
tribes
first
and
couple pages just talk about the ship and how it almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
Right.
They had to repair. They had to
One
repair
of them
it.
had to turn back because
Yeah,
it was leaking. Yeah.
But
And
can
they
you
used part of the
imagine-
boat. They used part of the boat, other parts to fix it so they could keep going.
But imagine the courage of people in the 1600s who said, yeah, we'll get on this rickety old wooden boat
3
and
months.
spend 3 months in the ocean hoping we don't drown or fall off the edge. I mean,
And they about ran out of food and everything else too.
There was a story of one guy who fell off and he managed to grab a rope. And the odds of that happening, because they couldn't turn around and
Right.
go get him. He fell off and he grabbed a rope and they pulled him back in.
and by the way, in case you've forgotten, Don Lemon and everybody else in your ilk as well, the first of the colonies in the New England settlement in the colonies started out voting against slavery, outlawing slavery in the 1640s.
Well, she points out the 2,000 British sailors who died trying to stop it.
Right.
What about the hundreds of
them
thousands
yeah.
of soldiers that died in the Civil War to stop it?
Talk about reparations. Yeah, that's right. They, if it weren't, we wouldn't have had a black president if it weren't for white people. There weren't enough black guys to vote for a black president to make him president.
People can screw up anything.
I mean, it was because
I lost my family. My dad's family lost 2 great uncles. They were both from Chicago. They died a year apart, 2 different battles southeast of Nashville, and they're buried in unmarked graves there at the national cemeteries.
Yeah.
Don't even know where they are.
yeah, that's and millions like them. Coming up, we got so much more here, including I think Pete wants to also tell us about some sort of insect invasion from foreign land of some kind. But first, remember deadcrowdefense.com. Check out your personal arms dealer. It's not a gun store. It's your personal arms and gun dealer working directly with you, deadcrowdefense.com. They helped out Flounder just recently, needed some ammo. And by the way, if you're looking for even the 9mm or 45 or 38, whatever, kind of the general normal stuff, may be hard to find a lot of places. And the prices, oh, mercy. Well, if you go to Dead Crow Defense, they're going to make you a lot happier than you might be. They have all common calibers in stock, ready to ship. And if it's in stock, it goes out the next day. They don't fool around. This is old-fashioned customer service. Again, this is, the people who are friends like this, through Dead Crow Defense, who sponsor the Kimmer Show podcast, these are companies who really do need your support, and we are so grateful for them being part of the podcast. It's really worth your while to check them out. Just look them up on the web, deadcrowdefense.com. It's not just guns and ammo. It's personal safety gear and security stuff, and there's all kinds of things to see what they can offer you. By the way, if you've been looking for something specific and you can't find it, Dead Crow Defense will get it for you. They'll find it for you. Again, in-stock items shipped the next day. Here's their phone number if you want to call and see what they can do for you, something special. They love to work on that for you. Area code 678-576-9117. Or you can shoot them an email at sales@deadcrowdefense.com and have your personal arms dealer reach out to you and give you exactly what you're looking for. Talk about what you want, what you need, and it'll be done for you. Online, by the way, don't forget to use the promo code KIMMER, K-I-M-M-E-R, at checkout for 10% off your first several orders at deadcrowdefense.com. Your personal arms dealer, deadcrowdefense.com.
Mark here says Tyrus on Gutfeld, the big guy?
Yeah.
Said that every time she speaks, Kamala, they should play bongo music under her. Like she's doing this snap, poetic reading.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah, remember she was bragging about smoking weed with the Bob Marley, and it was like 10 years after he died or something.
Yeah, she was on the Breakfast Club, which is a urban radio morning show, and they had asked if she had ever smoked, and they're like, "What'd you smoke to?" And she was like, Tupac, Biggie.
Yeah, Tupac.
She graduated 10 years before they all came onto the scene, so she was straight.
And of course, her father said, "My God, stop bragging about being a dopehead, you idiot! You make us all look bad." Remember, she embarrassed her own family. Oh God, can you imagine? I mean, what an embarrassment! The woman can't. Well, anyway. I mean, really, I'm flabbergasted. She is so stupid.
The soft bigotry of low expectations.
She's just lazy and shiftless. I mean, there's no better word to describe her than shiftless.
Let me ask you, because you said I was watching an NFL game the other day, and this guy, a white guy, was calling the game, and he was talking about a black quarterback. It was the NFL college. And he says he's shucking and jiving out there.
Whoa!
And I stopped what I was doing. And I went,
Didn't Howard Cosell get in a little monkey issue about that?
And I rewound it. I go, he didn't say that. And he said that.
Didn't Howard Cosell say, well, that little monkey can really run or something? It was a black defensive player. Remember that?
Yeah. In Washington. Yeah. As far as I know, no one gave the guy any shit about it. Shucking and jiving.
That's coming, boss. That's coming.
Come on.
Mr. Benny.
Kingfisher. Come on. Rochester.
Meadowlark Lemon or somebody's in the house. Shucking and jiving. He might have meant juking and,
Maybe.
I'll bet he meant to say juking instead of shucking and jiving. That's pretty funny. Oh, mercy.
I don't know if this is breaking, but what's his name? Robert Sarver is confirming that he's going to sell the team.
Yeah, Phoenix Sun
This
guy.
Phoenix Suns.
Oh,
thing.
well, he
said
has
some
to.
racist
He's
and
out. I
stupid
mean, there's no way he can continue in any kind of leadership role.
But there's no forgiveness anymore. There's no, I'm sorry I did it. Let me pay fines or do my punishment. No, there's none of that anymore. If you're white, you're gone.
Was
You
it
got-
all
you're in and
language, or
out.
did he do things, or was
I
it all
think-
just the way he talked?
He said some things about women and blacks or whatever.
But I mean,
forget
he
exactly
wasn't
what
like
they were.
beat women up and tie them up.
I don't know
and
if there was
abuse them or
there may have been
charged
sexual
with-
stuff going on in the office that he was getting away with. I don't know.
Okay, I don't think I heard anything about like a Me Too.
There's
problem. I
one
think it was just-
person who's actually come back from that. You remember that country guy Morgan Wallen?
No.
He
don't remember him.
got caught drunk. He was with his friends and he had said the N-word, not at a black person or anything like that, but he had too much to drink, and he was caught on a doorbell camera, and the neighbor turned him in.
Really?
And he kind of got canceled 2 years ago, but now he's one of the most popular country artists.
Huh. Well, that's redemption. Let's see. A couple of birthdays of note. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer, very famous producer of various TV and movie shows, 79 years old today. The hideous Stephen King, 75, overrated.
Had maybe 3 good books.
Well, he was, when he first burst on the scene, he
Pet
really
Sematary
was. He
and
changed
Salem's
a
Lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it wasn't that great. The Stand was great till the end. That's one of the worst endings in the history of books.
Yeah, I think I read, I'm not even sure I've read actually any of his books cover to cover. That's not my kind of reading.
Pet Cemetery was scary as hell.
Yeah, that's why I don't read. I don't like that kind of stuff. Bill Murray, God bless him, 72 years old. I guess he's having fun. He's showing up at people's weddings now. He'll drive a cab and have the cab driver sit in the back playing his saxophone or something just to treat people to a ride and whatever. I mean, he sounds like he's having a good time in his life, and I'm happy for the guy. The hideous Cheryl Hines, strangely attractive in a bizarre way, from Larry Seinfeld. Curb Your Enthusiasm and many other things. Cheryl Hines is 57 in Variety of
Yeah,
Hines.
there was something about her. I don't know what it was. That mouth or something.
She was strangely attractive in a kinky kind of way or something, and her attitude was kind of interesting too. I mean, I kind of liked her attitude. Faith Hill, beautiful woman. Although I don't think I ever saw her crack a facial expression when she was here at the Olympics, and we were right next door to where our studio was right next to where she and Tim McGraw were sitting most of the time when they weren't doing something. And I don't want to say she looked sad, but she never looked like she had an expression on her face other than just here I am. I don't know why I'm thinking that. She's a
Probably the
beautiful
plastic surgery. She couldn't move her face.
girl. Well, I don't know, but she was definitely
Good Mississippi girl.
Luke Wilson, the actor, 51 today. Nicole Richie, Lionel Richie's daughter, who was with a Paris Hilton group people for a while as one of the young up-and-comer Hollywood starlets for being famous for just being famous. Nicole Richie's 41. She's a part, I don't think she's married to Joel Madden with Good Charlotte, the singer. They have a daughter named Harlow and a son named Sparrow. Yeah, he's not going to get thrown in his locker. Sparrow. I mean, I can see Harlow, although that's a generic name. It's kind of cool. I like it. But Sparrow for a boy?
I know.
You idiot. Ethan Coen, or the Coen brothers, movie people, 65 today. Rob Morrow, our friend from Alaska Territory there. And,
Northern Exposure.
Northern Exposure. And what was the game show?
Numbers.
Quiz show?
He did the movie quiz show.
And
the
now
show
he
Numbers.
was in Billions. He played a
Was
judge
he?
in the TV series Billions. Rob Morrow is 60. Maggie Grace, who was the daughter in the Taken movies and also on Lost and a bunch of things. Maggie Grace is 39 today.
A certain set of skills.
What's that?
I have a certain set of skills.
And I will kill
Did you ever watch that thing I sent you from the Ted movies where he was buying the Lucky Charms in the store?
Oh, yeah. And again, Liam Neeson is the biggest phony in the world.
know.
He bitches about Americans loving your guns. You Americans just love your guns. Oh, my God. That's how you made you a millionaire, you freaking phony. God. 1986, on our music note here, the National Enquirer magazine in 1986 on this day featured a picture of Michael Jackson inside an oxygen chamber And the story described Michael Jackson's bizarre plan to live to be 150 years old. And it was drugs that killed him.
I would love to have one of those chambers, though. They say that is the coolest thing.
I
you
don't
feel
know.
so refreshed when you get out of that
Yeah,
thing.
but it's got to do something to your body.
Hyperbaric. Yeah, it infuses it with pure oxygen. It's good stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. On the other hand, I mean, but I've had cancer and I've had a heart attack. So maybe and if people like me were to take steroids, it might just accelerate all the bad things that also are going on in
Why
there.
would you be
see
taking
what I mean?
steroids in that?
I'm just saying, if you're doing some boosting your metabolism to be more manly or whatever, you also might be boosting all the bad shit that's in there, hiding somewhere.
about that.
I don't know what. I mean,
Okay,
we don't
let me
know
get
anything.
this right. You'll let somebody take a knife and shove it in your eye. You'll let somebody take a knife and
Slit my
cut your
eyeballs.
balls open, but you won't sit in an oxygen tank. Okay, so we just know
Something-
where you draw the line.
Something bad could happen.
But a knife to your balls is completely safe.
Stream.
Unbelievable.
Oh, brother. Here we go. For example, this could have been the reason it happened to Bob Marley on this day in 1980. Bob Marley was on his North American tour when he went for a jog in New York City Central Park and collapsed. At the hospital, tests showed he had his cancer issue. A few years before, he'd been diagnosed with cancer. 2 nights later, he played his last concert ever in 1980 at the Stanley Theater
Redemption
in
song.
Pittsburgh. It was skin cancer under a toenail.
Yeah, he wouldn't get it cut off because it was
Got
against
it.
his religion.
Well, he wanted to play soccer.
Yeah.
And it would have kept him from kicking
Yeah.
the ball around.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do that.
Cancer under a toenail. He died the next year, 1981, at the age of 36.
There was a Rastafarian rumor that the government gave him cancer.
Yeah.
hard to give toe cancer. I didn't know that.
There's a great documentary that was out recently about him and how he spent his last few weeks in Switzerland in the snow, which is weird. The Rastafarian, he was in that foreign environment over there trying to cure him, and it didn't
Yeah.
work.
Well, Steve McQueen went to Mexico to buy Laetrile peach
didn't work either.
apricot pits for his cancer.
I watched a
That
little
did-
bit of Tom Horn the other day. Gosh, he was.
Oh, really?
Steve McQueen was the man. Come on.
Although you know what, the only of all the things about Steve McQueen, in fact, just not too long ago, the one with the famous chase in San
Bullet.
Francisco, Bullet was on. But the only part, and I can't get this out of my mind, in the movie A Great Escape. And Steve McQueen, who was the macho guy and everything, except when he was describing. They were just talking about how to make the trap for the air pockets or something, and he was saying, "Oh, it's real simple. You go like this, real easy, boom." And he made kind of a doofus facial expression. I just never forget that he looked like he said, "Oh, I just do it. It's real simple." And he had his mouth open and like he was wearing a beanie cap or something. It's the damnedest thing I ever saw in my I don't know, Steve
That's
McQueen.
what you remember.
That's what I remember of all the Steve McQueen movies. I used to love him in Wanted Dead or Alive, though. And I always wanted one of those little sawed-off 30-30 carbines with a big thing on it. And now I have one because I have my my mare's leg. And that's the Steve McQueen model mare's leg from Henry Rifles, and it has the big lever action cocker thing.
He could have been a race car driver. He came in second
That's
in
right.
Le Mans.
He did his
driving,
own stunts.
Porsches that were not really supposed to win,
Yeah.
and he came in second. Him and his friend came in second.
Yeah, he was a driver, and he cancer got him. A couple things. I gotta put in my thing.
By the
here
way,
for this. Yes.
Porsche went IPO the other day.
Initial public offering.
$79 billion.
Jeez.
$79 billion.
Wow. Are they going all electric or anything?
Well, they've got that Taycan. They're going a lot electric, not all electric. Cause
I think Ford's made more announcements. Although they're going to try to keep a new Mustang going, but
there's not enough of the minerals to make all the batteries to go all electric. And it won't be for quite a while.
It's going to be a very long transition, and a very ugly.
And they're
one.
trying to do it overnight, and they're going to destroy economies doing it.
Well, I'm hoping that things will start getting reversed.
And once they get you with the electric, they got you. They control
Well,
your
then you're
movement
screwed.
at that point.
Yeah, they can shut you off.
Right.
The guy is suing. He got his electric car, the Tesla, and the battery died, and he refused to pay for it, so they shut off his car. so you can't drive.
Okay, in the black market, you will always be able to get gas.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to get lithium batteries.
Yeah. Cobalt or whatever, all the things they
Nickel
need.
and all that crap.
Oh, mercy. 1998, the ickiest, sleaziest president ever, Bill Clinton, was shown on TV I remember watching this, shown on TV for the first time, weaseling his way through the truth about Monica Lewinsky. Well, it depends what is. Are you having an affair? Well, it depends what is. And he got away with it, of course. In fact, he was just on the other night. They're still interviewing him about what bad guys Republicans are as a danger to the democracy of America, which is not a democracy. That was 1998. 1938, France and England get together. And Pete, you'll remember this, so we just talked about it a little while ago. 1938, France and England get together and say, you know what? I think we can trust that Hitler guy. Let him go ahead and take Czechoslovakia. That'll keep him happy. We'll be able to deal with him if we don't make him too angry. They gave Hitler Czechoslovakia in 1938. Yep. Exactly 1 year to the day later, 1939, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt gets Congress to amend the Neutrality Act so America can start sending military aid to the European countries being overrun now because France and England said Hitler can go ahead and take Czechoslovakia. A year later, here we go, 1939, and then we had to get in. 1893, Frank Duryea and his brother Charles made history when Frank took their horseless carriage for a test drive, the first gasoline-powered automobile ride. And apparently that was before the guy named Benz invented the horseless carriage, the Benz vehicle that he named after his daughter Mercedes. Yeah. And I think that was 1897 or something.
By the way, we just got hit by a sex bot.
Ooh.
On YouTube. Chat69XYZ had best adult dating site, and they went several times on here before I zapped them on here.
Adult dating sex site?
Yeah.
On our podcast?
On our
Facebook? Or YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh, for God's sakes. Can we block that? Or
yeah, I blocked them. I reported their ass, too. So.
Wow. In 1897, ironically the same day, in response to a letter from an 8-year-old girl, the New York Sun newspaper, its response was, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. 1897. TV history, 1948. Milton Berle debuted as the host of the Texaco Star Theater on NBC. Later became the Milton Berle Show, which he hosted for 20 years, and he had that long contract with NBC, first one ever. 1957, same day, Perry Mason debuted on CBS, ran for 9 years. Stella? Or Della? What was his name? Della?
What was his friend? Paul?
Paul Drake.
Paul?
And he had that breath before he started to talk.
Paul Drake. Even as a kid, I thought that guy was a little off.
Yeah, well, he was a little off.
It really was Raymond that was a little
turned
off.
He was a little
but Paul Drake always thought that guy's weird.
Yeah, with
what
the
kind
black
of job
eyebrows
is
and the white hair.
How does that guy exist? I mean, you got to think. How was he raised?
Yeah.
What schools did he go to? And what was his job?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, he just hung around the law offices and did the dirty work.
Yeah, went to investigate.
Did the wet work. Did the wet work. You know.
Perry Mason. Da-da-da. And it's irrelevant or common or immaterial. What were the ones he used? Irrelevant, something irrelevant and immaterial.
And the poor Hamilton Berger who never won a case.
Incompetent, irrelevant, and immaterial. Hamilton Berger.
Hamilton Berger. That poor ugly bastard. Well, I think, did they let him win one?
What did I just hear?
The Hamilton
Something
Berger?
just played in my ears. Something's going on with my phone.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. God. Huh? Something bad's happening. One more thing. Speaking of TV history, 1970, NFL Monday Night Football debuted on ABC. The Cleveland Browns beat the Jets 31-21. It was, you remember the original broadcasters, Monday Night Football, 1970 first game?
That would be Keith Jackson.
Yep.
And I don't think Cosell was part
Howard
of it.
Cosell.
Was he there?
Yep.
And, okay.
Dandy Don Meredith.
I thought
he was
Gifford was there.
Gifford came in later.
Okay.
But Dandy Don Meredith was the first one with Howard Cosell and Keith Jackson. And fumble. Anyway, there you go. All right, boys.
Well, you know what
That's
a
about all
Venn
I got.
diagram is?
Oh, what, sir?
A Venn diagram?
Venn diagram?
A Venn diagram is where you take a category of something,
Okay.
and then you have a category over here or something, and then you draw circles where they meet,
intersect,
where they
have
intersect,
something in common.
where they have something in common.
Can you give an example?
I'll give you an example.
I don't.
right now.
I can't think of one
Okay,
offhand,
on
top
the
of my
left
head.
side, what you have a category called British people,
All right, sir.
and you have beans and toast. They love their beans and toast. Okay.
All right, so you got British people and beans
and
and
this
toast.
is what it looks like. It's like circles. See, it's like circles.
I got you.
Okay,
All right.
circles. Okay, on the far right, the category is ants. Okay, ants can lift up to 5,000 times their own weight.
Okay. Wow.
So they like beans and toast, but not as much as British people. And British people can't lift 5,000 times
right.
their own weight.
So those things are not uncommon.
But here's some things that British people and ants meet together in the middle of the Venn diagram.
oh boy.
A weird loyalty to their queen,
Hey, oh yeah.
innate instinct to line up single file and travel in a queue. They take things that aren't theirs back to their colony.
Like your
Just
food
ask
at a
Egypt,
picnic.
India, and they love crumbly pastries.
Crumbly pastries. Those fancy Brits.
Okay, what
All
else?
right, boys. What
we'll
else
do
is
something.
happening here today?
Okay, Benjamin says, you want to hear something amazing about crying?
I do.
Emotional tears have higher protein in them than irritant tears, which makes them fall down your cheeks more slowly, increasing the chance they'll be seen and solicit care. In literal ways, your body is built for community.
Wow. Wait a minute now. So God designed, or Mother Nature, whoever did the actual body parts, designed a system so that if you want to get somebody to feel sorry for you or recognize that you're emotionally hurting, the tears come slower if you're being emotional
Because there's
about
more
it?
protein in there, so they go slowly.
As opposed to what other kind of tears?
You're
are?
mad.
Oh.
You're so mad you're shedding tears.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
I guess they can prove that. Well, to study the chemical makeup of the tears.
Yeah.
By the way, where does the tears come from?
The tear duct.
Well, what does I mean, how does the tear duct make liquid?
Well, you
In other
got
words,
liquid.
What is
You're
it?
made up mostly of water, so it's just there. It's just there.
Well,
It
I
mixes it-
don't
and
think
mixes
that's
it with
the
salt.
proper explanation. They're just there. They
Well,
must be made out of something.
My as David Letterman, my stupid human trick is that if I hold my nose and blow it, it presses up against my left tear duct and it squirts tears
Well, let's
in my
see
eye.
it. Get by the camera and let's see it right now.
Because sometimes it actually blows the eyelid up like a balloon.
Oh, that's even better. Come on,
I don't know
come
if I
on.
can do it. Well, it's not every time. It's every once in a while.
We'll try it. We'll try it today, and if it doesn't work, we'll try it Friday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Davis, the ear duct spraying eyeball case. Pete Davis, right here.
There you go. You're good.
All right. Okay. All right. Squeeze that baby.
Here, let's see if it'll do it.
All right.
Not every time.
Hold your nose. Squeeze, and you have to blow through your nose or what?
Yeah, both.
All right.
It did just a little bit.
A little bit. I can actually.
Oh, really?
Just-
Could you
yeah,
see
like
it?
a little- Every once in a while, it's like a windshield wiper. It goes.
By just holding your nose? Well, can I do it?
It's every once. I told my doctor.
I wouldn't. It'll probably screw up your hearing.
My hearing's already screwed up. What difference does it make?
this point.
It probably helped me blow
Yeah.
out my eardrums.
At worst, what's he going to do? Talk about it?
All right. Well, I'm gonna. So you hold your nose and blow through your nose and see what happens. All right.
It's probably not going to happen. Don't blow yourself out. No, you don't do it hard. You don't have to do it hard.
My ears popped,
Yeah, so,
but I don't see it.
yeah. I told my
don't
doctor,
see
says
anything.
weird. He goes, I've seen it before, but it's kind of weird.
No kidding.
He said, stop doing it.
Wow, and my ears just changed totally on my hearing too.
That actually will help your ears if you do that.
Yeah, it does. It blows out your eardrums.
But okay, I did it to my nephew once, and my eyelid blew up, and he goes,
God,
"Don't ever
my-
do that again."
My whole hearing is totally different now than it was. Oh, you know what? It's going through my. It just changed again.
Oh,
Something's going
okay.
up with my
All right.
phone.
All right. Bad texting theater.
Bad
Is it time for
texting
bad
theater.
texting theater? All right, that's it.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this one.
Oh, you have you? All right, which one is it?
So we did the patient doctor on Monday. So it's the
10A.
guy and the girl having a cup of coffee.
Guy and a girl
I think we've done this before, but let's do it.
having a cup.
All right, it's a guy and a girl.
I'll be the guy.
All right, sir.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have one that's just under 2.
Yeah, I know how many one is.
Did we do that one before?
If we did, I don't remember.
All right.
We'll do the one under it.
You want to do that too?
Yeah, we'll give
another
him a
Just
double
in
for
case.
this.
Okay, it's a woman laying in the middle of the road. She's been hit by a car, and this guy runs up and puts his ear down to her mouth as she says something. So
Which one do you want to be?
I don't care.
All right, I'll be the guy.
All right. Call me an ambulance.
You're an ambulance. You don't get this everywhere, folks.
No,
you don't.
you're waiting for that.
Once again, we appreciate your support.
We expect a full cat report.
Yeah, all right. By Friday, we want to see this kitty cat running around in here for the Friday show.
Hopefully, it'll be running around my room. We'll see.
Well, there you go. All right, boys. Final thoughts as we adios ourselves? Or... A high note. Hoorah, Semper Fi. Gotta go. You're killing me. Everybody have a great time. And I guess we'll be back Friday with any luck.
God willing.
Duh.